Chapter 1. Wait, let me think about it. You said that my ancestor conquered a territory in the underworld and became one of the 12 lords of the underworld. Now that he's dead, you want me to inherit his legacy? In the park of Indigo City, Luwu looked at the little girl who was sitting on a small stool with a serious expression. To be precise, when you inherit his legacy, you have to find a way to avenge your ancestor. After his death, his former subordinates betrayed him and divided the territory that belonged to you. Luwu laughed. Kid, you must visit Chijin a lot, right? You're just like me when I was a kid. I'm not joking. Your ancestor was one of the most powerful beings in the underworld. To expand his territory and unify the whole underworld, he lost his life in an experiment to create a war artifact. So, you must inherit his will, unify the underworld, and become the emperor of the underworld. Luwu nodded solemnly and patted the little girl's head. Then, do you want to help me and become my right-hand man? After we conquer the underworld, we will conquer heaven and become the master of the 3 realms. Hearing Luwu's words, the little girl suddenly became excited. She looked at Luwu with a blushing face and nodded vigorously. Okay, then tell me where your house is. I'll send you back first. I'll call you when I have enough soldiers. The little girl's expression froze. Do you still not trust me? Luwu shook his head decisively. Of course I trust you. I'll make a call in a few days and borrow tens of thousands of soldiers from Emperor Qin. Then we will conquer the underworld. Hearing this, the little girl suddenly stood up from the small stool and hammered her head on Luwu's chest. You lied to me. You lied to me. Luwu quickly pushed the little loli away. Looking at her clenched teeth and furious face, he felt very helpless in his heart. Come with me. I'll bring you back. Where to? The underworld. Luwu was stunned. Kid, you can't be so stupid. Hearing this, the little girl raised her head and began to grind her teeth again. Then, she took out a black object from her pocket and stuffed it into Luwu's hand. This is a yin talisman. With it, you can go back and forth between the yin and yang. It was a triangular piece of talisman with a metallic texture. There were many twisted runes on it. It looked very peculiar, and Luwu could not help but take a second look at it. At first, Luwu wanted to ask if she bought it from Bao Bao, but the little girl grabbed Luwu's hand that was holding the talisman and mumbled something. What happened next shocked Luwu. A black dot appeared in front of him. The black dot expanded rapidly as it rotated. There was even a suction force coming from the inside that pulled him in. A sense of weightlessness followed. Just as Luwu was at a loss of what to do, an image appeared at the end of the black tunnel. Then he was thrown out and landed on his butt. Dark clouds rolled in the dusky sky, and a hazy blood moon hung high in the sky. Blood-colored rain sprinkled down from the sky. The scene in front of him made Luwu realize that he had really transmigrated to the legendary underworld. Looking back at the little girl, Luwu's lips trembled slightly. Are you telling the truth? The little girl put her hands on her hips proudly. I'm telling the truth. This area is your ancestors' territory. It's called Beiki, and it's one of the 12 major territories of the underworld. This time, Luwu believed her. Everything in front of him proved that the little girl was telling the truth. So, I'm the new His Excellency, one of the rulers of the underworld. Happiness came so suddenly that Luwu could not accept it. Of course, he could not resist it. Yes, you're the new king of Beiki. But before that, you have to find a way to reclaim your lost territory. Thinking of what the little girl said before, that his ancestors' territory was divided by his subordinates after his death, Luwu's expression froze. That's a must. Those bastards dared to betray my ancestor, so they must be punished. So, did my ancestor leave me any peerless godly skills? Luwu looked at the little girl expectantly, waiting for her answer. No, the little girl shrugged. You should know that every Yin realm creature's cultivation relies on the accumulation of time as a foundation. So, if you don't have 100,000 years of cultivation time, it will be very difficult for you to reach the height of your ancestor. The little lowly answered truthfully. Lu Wu was stunned. Then, did he have thousands of soldiers and horses, or elite cavalry, or something? No, he didn't. After your ancestor died, they all betrayed him. Do you have anything except this house? The little girl pointed at the almost abandoned palace that had obviously been burned down. Then I'll take my hammer and take back my ancestors' territory. Lu Wu looked sad and angry. No, you still have me, the little girl said proudly with her hands on her hips. Hearing this, Lu Wu's eyes lit up again. You must be very strong. The little girl shook her head and pouted. I fought with a ghost last time and was almost eaten. It was so scary. Lu Wu's eyes were listless. This inheritance was just a little girl with negative combat power. How could he survive in the underworld? He would be lucky if he was not eaten. Seeing the disappointment on Lu Wu's face, the little girl smiled and took out a ring from her pocket. Your grandfather died in the final stage of building the battle artifact, but I helped him complete the last step. So you still have this artifact. Lu Wu took the hollow ring from the little girl's hand, which was glowing with a faint blue light. Is this thing very powerful? The little girl nodded quickly. Yes, it is. Try it on. With great anticipation, Lu Wu wore the battle artifact on his index finger. A blue light suddenly appeared and covered Lu Wu's body. The battle artifact has been activated, testing the wearer's identity. Bloodline testing successful. The host is the descendant of the King of Beiki. The battle artifact is officially bound to the host. 2 notifications suddenly appeared in Lu Wu's mind. At the same time, the description of the battle artifact also flowed into his mind. In the description, the battle artifact was built by the ambitious ancestors in order to unify the entire underworld. Its most powerful function was to create immortal soldiers. These immortal soldiers were condensed from the Yin energy that was everywhere in the underworld. It cost almost nothing. As long as the soul existed, the body could be changed at any time, achieving the goal of almost immortality. However, this ability had a prerequisite, which was to control a sufficient number of souls. Only then could there be countless immortal soldiers to command. After being stunned for a moment, Lu Wu's expression gradually returned to normal. How is it? Isn't it a great invention? The little girl said proudly. Actually, I just want to know where to find a large number of souls to command. Lu Wu pointed out the key problem. Hearing this, the little girl was obviously stunned. Her expression gradually stiffened, and tears began to appear in her eyes. Why didn't I think of that? Without souls, this artifact seems to be useless. Looking at the little girl who was crying, Lu Wu felt a headache coming on. This ancestor was too unreliable. The idea of the artifact was good, but with his current strength, where could he find a bunch of souls? It was practically useless. Reaching out to rub the little girl's head, Lu Wu was about to comfort her. Suddenly, an idea flashed in his mind. By the way, are you also the developer of this artifact? The little lowly rubbed her reddened eyes and nodded. Then, can you add some functions to the artifact? The little girl raised her head in confusion. She seemed a little puzzled. Lu Wu took out the Yin talisman that could travel between Yin and Yang and shook it in front of the little girl. Add the functions of this thing? It's not difficult, but what's the use? The little girl sobbed a few times, as if she was trying to calm herself down. Lu Wu laughed. Do you know what I do in reality? Hearing this, the little girl took out a small notebook from her pocket, flipped it open, and read. Lu Wu, 23 years old, the 365th generation descendant of the King of Beiki. 3 years after starting his business, he's still a loser. He opened a small gaming website with almost 0 hits, and he's still single. Lu Wu quickly stopped the little girl's rambling. You know that I make games. You also know that I make games. Can you enrich the functions of this artifact? For example, we can guide the mortals in the world of the living into the underworld by experiencing the game and let them become our undying warriors. As long as the game is popular enough, we can have countless warriors. The little girl pondered for a moment with a serious face, and her eyes gradually lit up. Great idea. Moreover, when their bodies die, they can completely condense a new body, which is equivalent to resurrection in the game. The little girl's reaction surprised Lu Wu. He did not expect her to understand the true meaning of this method so quickly. Have you played games before? He asked subconsciously. Phew, I'm a veteran player of World of Warcraft. I've been playing for more than 300 years. The little girl put her hands on her waist proudly. Lu Wu was speechless. He did not expect the little girl to be so old. But this is a big project. We need a set of game systems such as quests, shops, dungeons, professions, and so on. Lu Wu said worriedly. Leave it to me. The battle artifacts function is not only to create undying warriors, but also to condense various things within energy and soul power. It can be used to create all kinds of game equipment and items in the shop. What is soul power? Lu Wu asked curiously. Soul power is the first indicator to measure the strength of an underworld creature. It's equivalent to the spiritual power in a cultivator's body. After all the underworld creatures die, the soul power in their bodies will dissipate. It's an existence of a higher level than yin energy. This made Lu Wu's eyes lit up. Then can we let our players kill other underworld creatures and rob them of their soul power, then absorb it? If we can do that, wouldn't it be equivalent to leveling up the character in the game? No problem. The little girl patted her chest confidently. But it's best if we can take some commission after the players kill the monsters. This is because the soul power can speed up your cultivation, and it can also be used to rebuild the palace of the King of Baki. Its biggest use is as a reward for issuing quests. The little girl's suggestion was exactly what Lu Wu wanted to say. He suddenly grinned. How about 20%? How about 30%? Then the two of them laughed. Chapter 2. After confirming the direction, Bei Li the little lowly led Lu Wu into the ruined palace of the King of Baki. She pulled open a secret door beside a blackened pillar, revealing a passage leading to the underground. Lu Wu only realized after entering the passage that it was extremely huge. It was like an underground palace. It seemed to be a laboratory filled with all kinds of weird instruments. After listening to the little lowly's explanation, Lu Wu understood that this was the place where the ancestors developed the artifact. Bei Li was the only assistant of the ancestors who participated in the development of this artifact from the beginning to the end. Stepping into the laboratory, the little lowly's expression suddenly became very serious. After asking Lu Wu to wait for a while, she changed into a metal suit that covered her whole body. After receiving the battle ring from Lu Wu, she began to run back and forth between the various instruments. During this period, Bei Li used various tools such as hammers, electric drills, and brushes to thoroughly inspect the ring. After that, she danced around and chanted spells, stunning Lu Wu. After 2 hours of toiling, Bei Li took off her metal helmet and passed the modified battle ring to Lu Wu with a weak look on her face. That's it. Lu Wu was in disbelief. It's not difficult to add these functions. Now that the server for extraditing the players has been set up, there are also various data settings inside. It's time to put it into practice. Lu Wu wore the ring skeptically on his finger. The artifact manual appeared again. Lu Wu was surprised when he saw the content. This was exactly what he wanted. Bei Li's settings were more extensive than he expected. She even thought of how to extradite the players from the world of the living. This made Lu Wu excited. Thank you for your hard work. Phew, I told you I'm the best. Let's go and test the functions. Although she was exhausted, Bei Li said excitedly. This was because the new function gave Bei Li hope. She felt that Lu Wu could definitely use this function to restore the glory of the King of Baki. Okay, let's go. As he spoke, Lu Wu held Bei Li's little hand. The originally carefree and mature Bei Li's face suddenly turned red. She broke free from Lu Wu's hand and ran to the side. I'm going to change into my lab clothes. I'm going to change into my lab clothes. Wait for me. A moment later, Bei Li returned to Lu Wu's side. She had changed into a short black skirt and was dressed like a gothic loli. Lu Wu smiled in his heart when he saw the redness on Bei Li's face. He held Bei Li's hand again and activated the added function of the battle ring, Yin and Yang. A black whirlpool formed in front of him. This time, Lu Wu did not panic. Instead, he allowed himself to be sucked in. When he opened his eyes again, the bright sun was hanging high in the sky. Lu Wu subconsciously took a deep breath of the air in the world of the living. The encounter just now felt like a dream. Lu Wu smiled as he looked down at Bei Li, who was holding his hand shyly. After that, Lu Wu brought Bei Li back to his home in Kowloon City. It was an apartment with 3 bedrooms, 1 living room, and 1 bathroom. Although he lived alone, Lu Wu's room was not messy at all due to his frequent tidying. After bringing Bei Li into his room, Lu Wu turned on his computer and opened his mini-game website. Xiaoli, can you connect Battle's server to my little game website? Bei Li nodded. She climbed onto Lu Wu's chair and started working on the computer. In the meantime, Lu Wu opened the management platform of the mini-game website. He entered the code of the artifact server and added a picture at the same time. The picture was of a circular formation with various runes inside. It looked very mysterious. After pressing the enter key, Bei Li nodded. Done. So simple? Lu Wu was surprised. Of course, the main thing that is connected to the battle server is this soul transfer formation diagram. As long as the player downloads this empty shell game and loads it into the virtual helmet, the soul transfer formation diagram will automatically appear in the player's mind. His soul will then be sucked into the battle server and sent to the underworld by the server. This made Lu Wu admire Bei Li from the bottom of his heart. This method was really safe and reliable. The players would not even notice the existence of the underworld. They would only think that it was a game with a high degree of realism. In today's era of rapid technological development, due to the birth of the virtual helmet, all games were pursuing a realistic gaming experience and constantly perfecting the intricate changes in the game. As long as Lu Wu claimed that his game had a near-perfect degree of realism, no one would notice anything wrong. What do you think the name of this game should be? Lu Wu asked expectantly. As the real developer of this game, Lu Wu felt that the naming rights should be given to Bei Li. Bei Li was stunned. Lu Wu's attention warmed her heart. Then let's name it after the artifact. Let's call it Battle Online. This is also the ambition of the King of Beiki. Lu Wu nodded firmly and carried Bei Li off the chair. He opened the management platform and added an icon for the game. At the same time, he filled in the name box with the words Battle Online. Soon, the game was released on Lu Wu's minigame website. In order to attract more visitors, Lu Wu directly pinned his minigame on the homepage of the website. Then the two of them waited. 1 hour, 2 hours, and soon 3 hours had passed. Bei Li turned around and glanced at Lu Wu. Why haven't you tried to download it? This made Lu Wu feel slightly awkward. He knew that the number of visitors on his minigame website was indeed low. Moreover, there was another reason. Nowadays, even minigames were in the tens or hundreds of gigabytes. Some of the games with a degree of realism above 50% even had data packets in units of T. Lu Wu's empty shell game was only 800 megabytes. This made people lose interest in trying it out. After thinking for a while, Lu Wu logged into the management platform again and typed in a line of introduction about the game in the game introduction. This game has been developed by this website for 10 years. After many tests, the degree of realism is close to 100%. This website explicitly states that there is no top-up entrance in this game. After typing this line of introduction, Lu Wu and Bei Li waited expectantly. 1 hour, 2 hours. Just when the two of them were depressed and trying to think of another way, the artifact suddenly flashed and a message entered Lu Wu's mind. Ding! Player, Wang Damong, has logged into the battle server. Bei Li immediately grabbed Lu Wu's hand when she saw his expression. She closed her eyes and observed the appearance of the new players with him. 10 minutes ago, Wang Damong exited the game Atlantis that was undergoing maintenance and updating with a bored look. Atlantis was one of the most popular games today. It had many players and occupied 8% of the market share. The degree of realism was as high as 55%. Moreover, the game was rich in content and had a wide audience. Wang Damong was one of the professional players. After exiting the game, he found some food in the fridge and went back to the computer to open the browser folder. He randomly clicked on one of the dozens of mini-game websites, intending to play casually before the maintenance ended. Coincidentally, the website he clicked on was Lu Wu's mini-game website. After glancing at the countless game icons on the website, Wang Damong found the most eye-catching game icon on the main page and clicked on it. Cough, cough. When he glanced at the game introduction, Wang Damong spat out the food in his mouth and coughed uncontrollably. The 800 megabytes game had a degree of realism that was close to 100%. The website also guaranteed that there was no top-up entrance. This made Wang Damong's eyes widen. The owner of this website must be crazy about money. Why didn't he add a price of $999 in the introduction? Wang Damong shook his head and was about to click the cross to exit the web page. Suddenly, his hand paused as he recalled that there was a rule to report fake game information. One could even get a sum of money after reporting it. This made Wang Damong chuckle in his heart. He planned to try it out and then write a report on the fake content and send it to the internet police. Therefore, by a freak combination of factors, Wang Damong pressed the game download button. With the current internet speed, the 800 megabytes game was downloaded in a second. After stuffing the food in his hand into his mouth, Wang Damong put on the virtual reality helmet and the game suit. Suddenly, a row of game icons appeared in front of him. These were all games that he had downloaded and played. He swiped his hand across the icons and found the game icon of Battle Online. Wang Damong smiled in his heart as he was prepared to bear the visual impact. After clicking to start the game, Wang Damong's body suddenly went limp in reality. In his vision, an icon of a formation appeared, followed by a sense of weightlessness. When he opened his eyes again, he was completely stunned by the scene in front of him. Under the hazy blood moon, the sky was raining blood and gusts of chilly wind were blowing around him. It felt like he was in hell. Everything in front of him was so real that Wang Damong subconsciously pinched his arm. Although it reduced the pain, Wang Damong still almost thought that everything was real. How is this possible? How can an 800 megabytes game be so real? Is this the scene in front of me? But the construction of this scene can't be only 800 megabytes. Wang Damong was completely stunned by what he saw. He bent down to pick up a fallen leaf on the ground and looked at the lines on the leaf. The almost perfect details made Wang Damong fall into a daze again. At this time, the plot set by Bei Li appeared in front of Wang Damong's eyes. When the catastrophe of 10,000 years came, the Lord of the Underworld, the King of Beiki, sacrificed his life to fight against the natural disaster and saved millions of lives in Beiki. However, after the death of the King of Beiki, his subordinates rebelled and divided the entire land of Beiki. As the only heir to the King of Beiki, it's time for you to embark on the journey to restore the glory of your ancestors. After the plot text ended, a notification appeared in his mind again. Please choose your class. Then, 3 class templates appeared in front of Wang Damong. A strength-type warrior with a great sword, a long-range attacker with a staff, and an explosive assassin with a dagger. Wang Damong was shocked, but he still reached out and tapped on the figure with the dagger. Suddenly, The figure that Wang Damong tapped on glowed and slowly stood up like a blooming lotus. The figure was suddenly full of vitality, as if it had come to life. Then the dagger in the figure's hand automatically left its hand and circled around its body. A sharp, murderous intent emerged in an instant. Life and darkness, movement and darkness. Leaping on the scythe of the Grim Reaper. Blooming eternity in death. I am the assassin. The figure's cold voice was heard. Wang Damong was so shocked that his mouth opened slightly, as if the person was standing right in front of him. This is so King cool. Lu Wu, who was observing Wang Dameng's every move through the artifact, was shocked by the class template created by Bei Li. Chapter 3. According to Bei Li, the settings of these class templates were created based on the distribution of the soul power absorbed by the players after they killed the underworld creatures. For example, the class of Berserker. After the players chose this class, the soul power extracted from the monsters they killed would be used to enhance the player's strength. Similarly, Wang Damong, who chose the assassin class, would naturally focus on strength and agility when he strengthened himself. After choosing his class, Wang Dameng's body was equipped with a coarse cloth made of Yin energy and a newbie dagger. Although the newbie level equipment was weak, it did not consume any soul power. Lu Wu relied on these players to kill the underworld creatures to earn soul power for him. Suddenly, Lu Wu's mind moved and a message appeared in Wang Dameng's mind. Newbie mission. Kill 10 wandering souls. Soul coin reward. 5. Wang Damong was very excited when he received the mission. He could not help but want to continue playing such a well-made game. He then opened the map according to the instructions and found that he was in the mansion of the dead of Beiki. He was surrounded by the ghost mountains and beyond that was shrouded in fog. The top right corner of the map showed that the exploration rate of the territory of Beiki was 0, 1%. Holding the dagger, Wang Damong was filled with pride. He stood up and started exploring. While moving forward according to the coordinates on the map, Wang Damong observed the scenery around him. He was surprised by the realism of the game again and again because the details of the game had reached a terrifying level. As he walked, Wang Damong suddenly heard a low whimper coming from afar. The sound was so sad that Wang Damong could not help but feel terrified. However, Wang Damong remembered that it was just a game. He mustered up his courage and walked toward the direction of the sound. Soon, a white floating figure appeared in front of him. Wang Dameng's appearance also shocked the wandering soul. With a shrill cry, the wandering soul suddenly pounced on Wang Damong. Wang Dameng's heart was beating fast when he saw the realistic scene in front of him. However, he was a professional player after all. His mental fortitude was not bad. He held the dagger tightly and pounced on the wandering soul. Smack! After the dagger collided with the wandering soul, the damage data set by Bei Li appeared above the wandering soul's head. A red -5 appeared. A black gap appeared at the place where he was stabbed. Since he had no health bar, Wang Damong did not know how many slashes it would take to kill the wandering soul. After dodging the wandering soul's attack, he turned sideways and stabbed the wandering soul again. This time, a -6 notification popped up. This feeling of shock. The person who made this game is a genius. Wang Damong said excitedly. The injured wandering soul's screams became shrill, but Wang Damong was no longer afraid. He even waved at the wandering soul provocatively. Relying on his agility, Wang Damong excitedly cut open wounds on the wandering soul's body. The wandering soul became more and more transparent, as if it would disappear at any time. I'll sacrifice you to my saber. After dodging another attack, Wang Damong raised his dagger and lunged at the wandering soul's back. But at that moment, Wang Meng's right foot suddenly knocked into a rock. His body suddenly sank, and he fell heavily to the ground. A -3 appeared above his head. What the F***CK? Does it have to be so realistic? Wang Damong was shocked. It was so realistic that Wang Damong was speechless when he thought about it. Just as he raised his head and was about to stand up, the wandering soul pounced on him. Its almost transparent claws tore at his body. A series of blood-red numbers appeared above his head. Then the screen started to dim. You have been killed by the wandering soul. Lu Wu and Bei Li subconsciously covered their faces when they saw the scene. This was such a bad way to die. Taking off the virtual reality helmet, Wang Damong slammed his fist on the computer table. Damn you! How dare you kill me? I'll take revenge. Furious, Wang Damong put on the virtual reality helmet again. He chose Battle Online and clicked to start the game. You have died in the game. You will respawn in 3 hours. Wang Dameng's face turned pale when he took off the virtual reality helmet again. This game has a cooldown when I die. Is it profitable? Don't the developers of this bastard game need to be paid? After experiencing this game, Wang Damong was full of anticipation for it. He looked at the release date on the webpage and realized that it was today. At this moment, he had a vague feeling that a game that was going to be popular all over the world was going to be released. Looking at the notification that Atlantis had completed its update on the bottom right corner, Wang Damong suddenly felt bored. With his professional gamer's sharp nose, he suddenly made a decision. He would enter this game and bet that this game would definitely be popular. At this moment, there was a notification in the group chat on QQ. After Wang Damong opened it, he realized that his team members were asking him to go online and get ready to fight the boss. After thinking for a while, Wang Damong typed a line in the group chat. I found a super fun game. I'm going to quit Atlantis, crazy. JP. Strike gold, kitty kitten. JPG, bro, are you kidding me? Is there a game that's more fun than Atlantis? Piss against the wind. Damong, stop fooling around. Hurry up and fight the boss. If you don't hurry up, you'll be robbed. Kitchen knife, dripping blood. JPG, invincible berserker. What game is this? Why are you so obsessed with it? Introduce it to me. Looking at the lively group chat, Wang Damong thought for a while and sent the link of Battle Online to the group. You won't be able to imagine how fun this Battle Online is until you try it out. Seeing Wang Dameng's recommendation, many people clicked on the link. When they saw the size and introduction of the data package, the group went into an uproar again. Strike gold, appraisal complete. Damong is either crazy or drunk. Piss against the wind, 800 megabytes? I almost thought my eyes were playing tricks on me. I mistook T for MB. Invincible berserker. Damong is really crazy. We've lost a powerful assassin as a teammate. We'll miss him. Seeing his teammates' messages, Wang Dameng's eyes widened. He pressed on the keyboard and typed, "Stop talking and try the game. If you're not satisfied, I'll give each of you 10,000 gold coins." Strike gold. I've taken a screenshot. Piss against the wind. I've taken a screenshot. Invincible berserker. I've taken a screenshot. Downloading now. We'll be back in 5 minutes to slap their faces and wait for the money. Happy smile. JPG. Under Wang Dameng's instigation, a wave of players began to enter the game. At this moment, Lu Wu was staring at Bei Li without blinking. Bei Li lowered her head shyly. Little Li, why did you set the resurrection time after death? Lu Wu asked curiously. Of course I set it. Although their bodies in the underworld are formed by Yin energy, their souls will quickly return to their bodies after being shattered. This will still cause some damage to their spirits. Of course, this kind of minor damage can be healed after 2 hours of rest. Bei Li's answer enlightened Lu Wu. He smiled and patted Bei Li's head. You're the best gift my ancestors have left for me. Bei Li's face turned red when she heard this. She shyly shrunk her head. Oh, yeah, if the bodies formed by Yin energy dissipate, will the players' levels drop? Lu Wu suddenly thought of a key problem. It would be terrible if they died after they leveled up a few times. Of course not. It's the soul power that strengthens them. I've set the artifact so that the soul power in the players' bodies will not dissipate after they die. Instead, it will be stored in the battle server. When the players resurrect, the soul power can be filled into their new bodies. Lu Wu did not expect Bei Li to even think of this problem. He excitedly hugged Bei Li and gave her a big kiss. Haha, you're so smart. Bei Li was dizzy after being kissed. She looked like she was going to faint at any time. Lu Wu burst into laughter again. At this moment, the artifact's notifications kept popping up. Ding! Player, Shueli, has logged into the battle server. Ding! Player, Sun Hongkuan, has logged into the battle server. Ding! Player, Chunziu has logged into the battle server. Lu Wu was shocked when he saw the notifications of more than 10 players logging in. Chapter 4. Under Wang Dameng's instigation, a few of his friends in the team put on their helmets and clicked on Battle Online's icon to enter the game. Then, they fell into the same state of shock as Wang Damong. This almost realistic scene completely stunned them. After choosing their preferred class, they also received the newbie mission that Lu Wu had set up. Hiss! 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 That's terrifying. A series of exclamations could be heard. Looking at the clothes on their bodies and the scenery around them, everyone fell into a daze for a moment. F***CK, this game is too awesome. Which company came up with such a big move? They're going to sweep the gaming world. This is really awesome. I feel like I'm going to lose my 10,000 gold coins. I'm even thinking of quitting and playing this game. After a round of discussion, they hurriedly prepared to explore the game as a group. However, at this moment, Wang Damong was sitting in front of the computer, staring at the chat group and typing a line of words. Where's the face slapping in 5 minutes? It's been almost 10 minutes. Where are you guys? It's been 20 minutes, bastards. Why are you guys so obsessed? It's been 30 minutes. Why didn't you guys wait for me to clear the main storyline? You have to know that I'm the one who recommended this game to you guys. Wang Damong was filled with resentment when he thought of the 1.5 hour cooldown for resurrection. He even had the urge to stab the developer who designed this function. Meanwhile, a dozen people in the game were besieging 2 wandering souls excitedly. Chunziu said, "Brothers, leave these 2 to me. I've already killed 8 of them. Let's finish the mission first to strengthen the team." Wang Chao said, "Get lost, I only have 3. Do you know balance? You'll be drowned if you do this." Su Chi said, "I'm the only girl in the team. Brothers, leave them to me." Everyone was expressionless. At this moment, all they wanted was to become stronger and not be tempted by beauty. The team fell into a quarrel over the 2 wandering souls. In the end, the 2 wandering souls fell into the hands of Chunziu, who was the strongest among them. Suddenly, 2 black lines emerged from the dead, wandering souls and drilled into his body. His experience bar also began to jump. Ding! Congratulations on leveling up. You've gained 2 strength. Ding! Congratulations on completing the mission. You've gained 5 soul coins according to Bei Li's settings. Every time a player killed a monster, the monster's soul power would be divided into 3 parts. 60% of it would become experience points for the player's enhancement, 10% would become soul coins for the player's storage, and the remaining 30% would be extracted by the artifact and turned into Lu Wu's personal currency. Within half an hour, the players had killed 30 wandering souls, earning Lu Wu 27 soul coins. 5 of them were given to Qin Ziyu as a quest reward. Of course, Lu Wu did not feel the pinch. As the players grew stronger and stronger, the number of lives they killed would increase as well. What the F***CK? I feel like my strength has increased. Qin Ziyu looked at his own body in disbelief. Su Chi said, "Brother Yu, what does that mean? Isn't it normal to level up and get stronger?" Qin Ziyu was silent for a moment. This game is really scary. When we level up in other games, even if our character's attributes increase, we don't feel any change. We only see an increase in damage when we're fighting monsters. But in this game, your body really feels stronger. It's unbelievable. Shweli said, Really? That's amazing. Doesn't that mean we can experience the feeling of being superhuman in the game? Chen Zhu nodded. I think it's possible. It's really unbelievable that we can experience strength that is impossible in real life in the game. Hiss, hiss, hiss. That's scary. Wang Chao could not help but say, Stop talking. I'm going to level up first. Get lost. The crowd shouted in unison. While searching for monsters, Chen Zhu opened the shop to see what he could buy. Level 1 shop. Level 2 shop unlocked when the strength reaches level 20. Level 3 shop unlocked when the strength reaches level 40. A few options appeared. Chen Zhu clicked on the level 1 shop and a page of the shop appeared in front of him. Recovery potion. Used to recover health after injury. Price. 1 soul coin mana recovery potion. Used to recover mana after casting spells. Price. 1 soul coin Ogre's Club. Level 1 white weapon increases strength by 2 points. Price. 8 soul coins beginner Wizard's Wand. Level 1 white weapon increases mental strength by 2 points. Price. 9 soul coins. Looking at the few pages of items in the shop, Chen Zhu's eyes were burning with desire. He realized that the items for wizards in the shop were obviously more expensive than those for other classes. He was glad that he chose to be a berserker. Looking at the 14 soul coins in his inventory, Chen Zhu gritted his teeth and chose to buy the ogre's wand. Under the surprised gaze of the crowd, a big white wand formed in the air. Chen Zhu held it tightly in his hand. Suddenly, a warm current flowed from the wand into his body. He could clearly feel that his strength had increased again. Looking at the envious eyes of the crowd, Chen Zhu laughed out loud. Lu Wu and Bei Li, who were secretly observing them, also laughed out loud. This was because all the items that the players bought in the shop were sold at a price that was 30% higher than the cost of producing artifacts. In other words, Lu Wu could get a share of the profits from the players' purchases in the shop. The more the players bought, the more Lu Wu would earn. Chapter 5. Lu Wu came to a sudden realization. He finally understood Bei Li's plan, so he once again observed the players' situation through the battle artifact. Although the soul coins given to each of them were not much, everyone still laughed happily. Damong, come and help. This monster's level is too high, we can't handle it. All the graded herbs in the Wandering Soul Mountains can be sold in the game store and rewarded with soul coins according to the grade. Herb grades from low to high. Common level herb, spiritual level herb, level 1-9. King level herb, level 1-3, miracle herb, boss Wong. Guys, what are you doing? Why didn't I see you in the game today? It's almost time for the team competition. Why don't you go and improve your strength, right? JPG? P against the Wind Wuzhang dynasty. Let's not talk about this. Give me the address of the R&D team and let them show me how to catch a blade with bare hands, right? JPD. Boss Wong. You guys don't want to work anymore? Everyone replied in unison. We're addicted to the game. Lu Wu nodded his head. Then he placed the bead at the side of his mouth and bit it. They hadn't experienced the feeling of working together to defeat a boss in a long time. Growth mission. I'm strong. Mission reward. 30 soul coins. Surely understood the underscore strongest. Boss, you might not believe me, but I have the same idea as the two above. Kitty acting PS. JPG. The team members who had nothing else to do started chatting in the group chat on QQ. At this time, everyone gathered around. Everyone's eyes lit up when they saw the item's information. This was the first time they had gotten an item from a monster, and it was so valuable. Wang Damong became very vigilant after encountering the wandering souls on the way to the Ghost Mountains. He observed the surrounding terrain from time to time while fighting to prevent any accidental deaths. Lu Wu, who was observing the battle, looked at Bei Li curiously. Why is the Netherworld Force a special monster? Why is there a mission to kill it? Special monster discovered. Side mission triggered. All participants who killed the Netherworld Force will be rewarded with an additional 3 soul coins. The dropped items can be recycled in the store. The settings of the artifact could not be defied. 5 minutes later, all the players were forcefully kicked out of the game amidst the complaints of the players. Obviously, the Netherworld Force was much stronger than the Wandering Souls. Fortunately, all the players were professional players with quick reflexes. While they were dodging the attacks, they kept inflicting wounds on the Netherworld Force. When they returned to reality, everyone was a little frustrated. As gaming fanatics, they had never seen such a fun game before. However, this game actually had game restrictions, which made it extremely difficult for them to endure. At that moment, Wang Damang's resurrection cooldown ended and he entered the game. That's too fast. It's been 12 hours. I thought I just entered the game. Meanwhile, in the room. Look, what's this? Suddenly, someone in the group spoke. After experiencing the feeling of enhancing their attributes, everyone was full of anticipation for the game. They wanted to explore the various hidden functions of the game. Chun Ziyu, whose appearance had changed drastically, once again caused everyone to feel a wave of envy. They all secretly vowed to level up quickly and equip a decent set of equipment as soon as possible. Netherworld Pearl, available for sale in the shop. Worth 28 soul coins, strike gold. Boss, you might not believe me, but I want to quit the game. This kind of realistic combat mode gradually made this gaming maniac obsessed. As he continued to advance, he also changed to a dagger that he bought from the shop, and the efficiency of killing monsters increased. Level 20 and a set of blue-rated equipment. The appearance of this notification stunned everyone. They did not expect 12 hours to pass so quickly. Chun Ziyu quickly walked forward and picked up the Netherworld Pearl. Suddenly, information about the item appeared. This made Wang Damong angry again. Didn't these bastards say 5 minutes? It's already been 5 hours and they're still playing? Didn't they say that Atlantis would form a team to defeat the boss? Side mission. Medicinal herb recycling. Li nodded her head vigorously. Eat it. The soul power inside will slowly improve your physique. Although the effect is not very big, it will last for a long time. Originally, everyone wanted to continue hunting in the Ghost Mountains and collect medicinal herbs to sell in the shop. However, at that moment, the game notification suddenly appeared. Boss Wang, can you tell me the reason? As he spoke, Chun Ziyu pulled up the list in the shop and threw the Netherworld Pearl into the shop. With a flash of light, the pearl disappeared, and his backpack had an additional 28 soul coins. Everyone's body began to shine with white light. It was obvious that they had leveled up. Equipment: helmet, hat, X1, armor, robe, X1, weapon X1, boots, leather boots, X1, belt X1. Game time has reached 12 hours. You will be forced to quit the game in 5 minutes. Please be prepared. The appearance of these 2 missions made the players excited again, and they were full of anticipation for the improvement of their strength. As Wang Damong walked closer, his teammates also noticed his presence. This made everyone heave a sigh of relief, and they happily enjoyed the pleasure of the enhancement of their attributes. Strike Soul, Chun Ziyu, 12 hours a day. This is for the sake of our health, right? But why? I still want to play, crying. JPG. Following the route on the map, Chun Ziyu and the others spent 3 hours on their journey and finally arrived at the Ghost Mountains. The fog on the map began to disperse, and the terrain of the Ghost Mountains began to appear. This time, Lu Wu gave them 3 missions consecutively, and he also set the mission to be triggered after entering the Ghost Mountains. Everyone, yeah. Boss Wang, what kind of game is it that you guys are so obsessed with? Which big company is it? After all, the players were too weak now. Going against the ghost generals who had a large number of powerful subordinates was undoubtedly like throwing an egg against a rock. The only thing they could do was to guide them to strengthen their strength first, and then set up a main mission for them. The appearance of the missions made Wang Damong join the battle decisively. Jewelry. Ring X2, bracelet wrist. X2, necklace X1 at this moment. The surface of the netherworld force was peeled off by the artifact, revealing a black pearl the size of a palm. Lu Wu had his own considerations when he issued the main mission. Strongest Berserker. +3. This meant that in the future, whenever players entered the Ghost Mountains, they would automatically receive the mission notification, and Lu Wu did not have to waste his energy to issue a new mission. It smells a little weird. 10 equipment parts. Bei Li chuckled. This netherworld force is formed by the absorption of a large number of wandering souls by the ghost soldiers. It is a very special hybrid. There's a netherworld pearl on its chest, which is a good thing. You can use it to change your physique. Pee against the wind. +1 after that. Chinziu sent a screenshot of the game introduction on Lu Wu's minigame website. After eating the netherworld pearl like an apple, Lu Wu let out a burp. He felt warm and comfortable all over. Side mission. Monster Hunter. Reward. 30 soul coins. This netherworld force had a pair of bull's horns, and its body was muscular like a horned dragon. It was extremely strong, and every time it smashed, a pit would appear on the ground. No one dared to fight it head-on, so they kept moving around. Can't you add more time? I need another one. 5 soul coins to buy a boning knife. Are you kidding me? The siege lasted for a full hour and a half, and everyone was exhausted. Just when they thought that they could not outlast the netherworld force, the beast finally collapsed. Suddenly, a cloud of black fog appeared, and it split into a few strands, entering the bodies of everyone present. Holding the netherworld pearl in his hand, Lu Wu was a little surprised. Can this thing really increase my strength? Wang Damong originally planned to sit back and watch, but suddenly a mission notification appeared. Pee against the wind. You won't believe it, but the person above and I have the same idea. After walking closer, he realized that these people were his teammates. Strike gold. It's this 800 megabytes epic level game. After eating the netherworld pearl, Lu Wu and Bei Li once again focused their attention on the people who were still exploring the Ghost Mountains. Although Wang Damong had joined them, they still felt that it was very difficult. In the Ghost Mountains, we killed 30 wandering souls, 20 soul-eater ghosts, 20 skeletal warriors, 10 spirit wolves, and 2 netherworld forces. Shueli _ the strongest. Shueli _ the strongest. I support the person above. Remember to take a video. After entering the Ghost Mountains, he saw a group of people attacking a 3-meter tall giant monster from afar. Looking at the soul coins he had, Chinziu pulled out the shop again and picked out a chainmail that cost 12 soul coins and put it on. Then a row of people followed suit, which made the team boss dumbfounded. Shueli _ the strongest. +2. Most of the people in the team had also completed their first mission and had basically changed their weapons in the shop. Chapter 6. After deciding to quit Atlantis, the group of them resigned from the team's boss. Then they arranged a time to gather at a restaurant outside. Do you regret your decision? Chun Ziyu, the team leader, asked as he looked at everyone. Wang Damong, leader, we've been playing games together for so many years. We have a keen sense of the gaming market. We felt that Battle Online has great potential. That's why we quit Atlantis without hesitation. I don't think there's anything to regret. Moreover, as the first batch of players, we have a great advantage. Do you think we won't be able to earn money in the future? Shueli, who was secretly eating at the side, raised her head. Yeah, you guys won't believe me. I want to buy some money, but I can't find a way to top up. I'm so sad. Shueli's words struck a chord in everyone's heart. Shueli was not the only one. Basically, everyone present had the thought of topping up their money in the game to exchange for better equipment. However, the game did not have a topping up interface as stated in the introduction, which made them speechless. However, in their opinion, the game needed to develop and the game company needed to earn money, so this function would appear sooner or later. Moreover, soul coins were scarce in this game, so they could stock up on soul coins and sell them without worrying about not earning money. So, do you guys mean that we should continue to play this new game as a guild? Chun Ziyu's face revealed a smile. That's for sure. We already have a system to distribute the loot after killing monsters anyway, so this isn't a problem. However, what I find strange is that I haven't found any advertisements for this game after searching through many gaming platforms. What is this company thinking? Yeah, if I didn't accidentally click on it, I wouldn't have believed that such an epic game would be on the front page of a small gaming website. Wang Damong immediately followed up Wang Chao's words with a puzzled look. Perhaps the boss of this game was not short of money. Everyone could only make such a guess. At the same time, Lu Wu and Bei Li, who were staying in the house, each had a bowl of instant noodles and were gulping it down. Lu Wu, you're really poor, Bei Li said bitterly after eating another mouthful of instant noodles. Lu Wu blushed and smiled awkwardly. When we have more players, there will be plenty of ways to earn money. I'll take you out to eat delicacies and make you fat. Bei Li nodded her head cutely. She picked up a strand of noodles with her chopsticks and started slurping them. By the way, why do you need to eat? Lu Wu asked curiously while eating the noodles. The underworld is also divided into corporeal and incorporeal. I'm a corporeal creature. Of course I have to eat, Bei Li answered matter-of-factly. Lu Wu was stunned. He just remembered that Bei Li seemed to be corporeal and he could touch her. After eating the noodles, Lu Wu and Bei Li were discussing how to promote the game. If he only relied on small gaming websites, the traffic would be too low and no players would click on it at all. If they wanted to promote it, they would just say there would be and would. Games would be that would to the platform. They would need to a huge funds. Then the platform would put up their advertisements and links. Every time a visitor clicked on a link, the platform would deduct 1 yuan from the account. Even if the visitor clicked on the link unintentionally and crossed it out because they were not interested, the fees would still be deducted. Based on this calculation, with the traffic on such a large platform, it would be impossible to promote the game without spending 1 million a day. Moreover, Battle Online did not have any charging programs. It would cost a lot of money, and there was no income. Lu Wu decided to give up on this kind of promotion. Therefore, the two of them had to think of other ways. They started to browse through a few gaming platforms to see if there were any activities organized by the platforms. After searching through dozens of platforms, Lu Wu finally found a free promotion activity on a large gaming platform. Best New Game PK ranking to find the best new game of the year. Platform 173 has started a game promotion voting activity. All registered gaming websites can choose a self-made game to participate in Platform 173's New Game PK ranking. During the activity period, all participating games will be scored by the platform's game evaluators, and the total score will be 10 points. Any game with a score of more than 8 points will be promoted on the platform's homepage for a day, and the players will vote for it. Activity voting period. 30 days reward for the first place winner. 10 days of promotion resources on Platform 173's homepage. A 5-minute CG for the game reward for the second place winner. 5 days of promotion resources on Platform 173's homepage reward for the third place winner. 2 days of promotion resources on Platform 173's homepage. All the rights to interpret this activity belong to Platform 173. Lu Wu and Bei Li looked at each other when they saw the message, and they both seemed very excited. If a large gaming platform like Platform 173 could really get promoted on the homepage, the traffic would definitely be quite considerable. Most importantly, this was a free activity. Of course, all of this was on the premise that the game could get the minimum score of 8 points. However, Lu Wu was not worried about this. Games that were 100% realistic did not exist in the current market. He was completely confident that he could get into the top 3, or even the first place. Seeing that there were still 3 days left until the registration period, Lu Wu decisively clicked to participate in the competition. He then sent his small gaming website's information and qualification certificate over and waited for a reply. The customer service of Platform 173 was very efficient. A moment later, they replied to Lu Wu's message and gave him a link to review the entry. Clicking on the link, Lu Wu filled in his website's information again, registered an account, and transferred the game Battle Online to the website review page at the same time. Then, a notification popped up on the webpage. Review in progress. Please wait patiently. Your review information will be replied in 3 to 5 days. After everything was done, Lu Wu and Bei Li began to discuss the optimization of the game. After 3 hours of discussion, Lu Wu and Bei Li held a draft map and began to plan the main mission of the game. The so-called main mission was definitely an extension of the theme of Battle Online. Lu Wu's heart was filled with pride when he thought of his old ancestors' wild ambition. As long as the game was popular enough, he could have an endless number of undead players working for him. As the players' strength grew, the land of Beiki was nothing to him. He wanted the entire underworld. Bei Li, who was very familiar with the landscape of Beiki, acted as a military advisor and reminded Lu Wu about the few forces in Beiki that he should pay attention to. According to Bei Li, the king of Beiki had 3 ghost kings and 10 ghost generals. After the death of the king of Beiki, the whole of Beiki was divided into 13 regions by these forces. The region where the Mansion of the Dead was located was in the east, and it was occupied by a ghost general named Chana. The initial main mission that Lu Wu was considering was how to take back the territory from Chana. Lu Wu set the activation of the main mission at level 15. After all, the players' levels were too low, and they could not even defeat a ghost soldier, let alone form a large-scale combat force. At the same time, the two of them also considered the template design of the NPCs. It was easy to create these NPCs that could improve the gameplay of the game. They only needed to use the battle artifact to form a body. The important thing was to give the NPCs intelligence. In order to stand out in the game, the NPCs were very important, and the key was to give them independent consciousness. Lu Wu could not solve this problem, so he could only throw the problem to the game developer, Bei Li. However, to Lu Wu's surprise, Bei Li patted her chest confidently. "Leave it to me. Leave it to me. This isn't difficult at all. You should know that the Netherworld is the final destination of all living beings. We can completely find those primitive living beings that have just been born in the Netherworld and have yet to develop intelligence and modify them. We can use divine artifacts to reconstruct their souls and give them new memories and missions. But where can we find such souls?" Lu Wu was surprised. After these dead living beings are randomly born in the underworld, so they can be anywhere. We can publish a mission and ask the players to help us find the newborn souls to create the NPCs. All right. Lu Wu nodded and published a new mission in the game with his consciousness. Permanent mission. Soul Collector. Find the newborn souls that are randomly born in the underworld. Once found, they can be sold in the shop. Each newborn soul is priced at 100 soul coins. At the same time, to let the players understand what newborn souls were, Lu Wu asked Bei Li to make pictures of them and posted them in the mission list so that the players could better identify them. The reward of this mission could be said to be the highest among all the missions. At the same time, this kind of mission that completely depended on luck also made the game more interesting. Whether one was lucky or unlucky, it all depended on luck. Chapter 7. It was the 3rd day of the game's release. During this period, the number of players in Battle Online had increased to 48. Most of them were recommended by Chen Ziyu, Wang Damong, and others who wanted to form the first guild in the game. Basically, everyone who played this game had a serious attitude of suspicion. However, after playing it, they realized how groundbreaking this game was. It was highly playable, and as long as the players had experienced it, they would not be willing to leave. Lu Wu and Bei Li, who had been observing their every move through the artifact, knew what Chen Ziyu and the others were thinking. They planned to add a guild option in the next optimization of the game. To make it easier to check on the players, Lu Wu and Bei Lee went to the underworld again and asked Lee to create a secondary ring for the battle ring in the lab. This ring did not have any independent ability. It was attached to the main ring and had the function to check on the players and issue quests. Lee had officially become the game's GM. Mu Qingxue was a professional game reviewer for Platform 173. His daily task was to try out all kinds of new games, write experience reports, and publish them on the website. Although the salary was not low, he found it very boring. After closing another game and taking off the virtual reality helmet, Mu Qingxue rubbed his head helplessly. What is this kind of lousy creation thinking? It even wants to participate in the new game, PK ranking. What a waste of my time. Then he opened the web page and entered a review score of 2 under the game. At the same time, he threw the game into the elimination list. Mu Qingxue scrolled through the review directory and saw that there were still more than 100 games to be tested. Mu Qingxue took a deep breath as he looked at the other game reviewers who were also testing the game. He clicked on the next game in order. Mu Qingxue was originally planning to play the game directly, but the introduction of the game made him dumbfounded. An 800 megabyte simulation game. Are you kidding me? Mu Qingxue was amused. How dare they participate in such a game? They really don't know their limits. It seems like I have to raise the requirements next time. Mu Qingxue originally planned to give 1 point and throw it into the elimination list after reading the introduction. However, when he thought of the company's minimum requirement of 10 minutes for each game, Mu Qingxue could only sigh. He downloaded the game into his virtual reality helmet and put on the helmet to start playing. However, what happened next made him doubt his life. From the moment he entered the netherworld, his surroundings and the gentle breeze that blew past him seemed to have traveled back and forth in an instant. Everything was too real. After choosing his profession, Mu Qingxue had been completely conquered by the game's opening. His initial mindset of quitting after playing the game had turned into one of exploration. 1 hour, 2 hours, 5 hours. Time passed quickly, and he was completely engrossed in the game, completely forgetting that he still had to review a lot of games today. On his way to the Ghost Mountains, he was lucky enough to pick up a newborn ghost from the mission panel. He was rewarded with 100 soul coins, which made him excited for a long time. After selling it to the shop, he proudly used his soul coins to buy a blue-quality dagger. Killing monsters became extremely efficient. Since he had chosen the assassin, with the increase of his attributes, Mu Qingxue truly experienced the feeling of walking on air that only martial arts masters in movies could have. Just like that, in the middle of his exploration, the game's 12-hour time limit appeared, and he was ejected from the game. Depressed, Mu Qingxue gritted his teeth and said, I almost single-handedly killed the Warrior of Wreckage. Who set this asshole time limit? I give it a bad review. Mu Qingxue looked gloomy as he took off his helmet. However, he was stunned because the evaluators around him had been replaced, and it was already 3:00 in the morning. Today's review task. Mu Qingxue felt a headache coming on. As a professional game evaluator, he was so obsessed with games that he even forgot about his work. However, Mu Qingxue had nothing to say about this game, so he decisively gave it a 10 out of 10 rating. After that, he spent half an hour writing a review report of this game and posted it under the game, adding it to the circular review list. To ensure the fairness of the game, all games had to be reviewed by every evaluator, and the average score of each evaluator was used to measure the game. Therefore, Mu Qingxue's review data alone could not determine whether a game passed or not. At this moment, Mu Qingxue was still very excited, because he felt that he had really found a treasure. After taking out his phone, there was a hint of hesitation on his face. After hesitating for a while, he gritted his teeth and dialed the number of the boss of Platform 173. Beep, beep, the phone rang 7 or 8 times before someone picked up. Hello. Hello, boss. I'm the game evaluator of Platform 173, Mu Qing-shui. Mu Qing-shui was the first to introduce himself. Wu Gui was stunned when he heard that the caller was an evaluator from his subordinate company. He then looked at the time displayed on his phone, and his mood instantly turned sour. "What's the matter?" "Also, how did you get my number?" "Boss, don't be angry. I want to report something to you. Perhaps this is an opportunity for Platform 173 to grow rapidly, overtake the other gaming platforms, and become the number one." Wu Gui, who was about to lose his temper, was instantly amused. He felt that it was a good thing for an employee to consider the development of the platform, but it was too impolite to call him in the middle of the night. Moreover, couldn't he talk to his supervisor first if he had any questions? However, Wu Gui did not say those words out loud. After thinking about it, he decided to listen to what this weird employee had to say. "Go ahead, I'm listening." This made Mu Qing-shui excited, and he said decisively, "Boss, you know about the best new game evaluation on our platform, right?" "Of course. I was the one who suggested this activity. As a veteran game enthusiast, it was precisely because of his passion that he came up with the idea of building a gaming platform, thus creating the largest gaming platform in the country, Platform 173. This evaluation activity was carried out because of his suggestion, and it was approved by the board of directors. Boss, we've found a treasure in this activity. I found a game with almost 100% realism during the evaluation. I've played it for a full 12 hours, and I didn't find any flaws. Moreover, the strengthening and other methods in the game are completely different from the current virtual reality games. It's practically an epic-making game." Wu Gui's expression instantly turned solemn when he heard that. He turned on the bedside lamp and sat up. "What game is it? Which gaming company produced it?" Realizing that Wu Gui was interested, Mu Qing-shui quickly answered, "It's produced by a small gaming platform called Battle Online. What's strange is that the data package of this game is only 800 megabytes. I also found it unbelievable after testing it." Upon hearing this, Wu Gui almost thought that Mu Qing-shui on the other end of the phone had gone insane from testing too many games. 800 megabytes could at most be used to make a prop in a realistic game, but it turned out to be a game. This was simply like a joke. Taking a deep breath, the anger in Wu Gui's heart surged once again. "What's your name?" "Boss, my name is Mu Qing-shui, and my employee number is 387. "All right, you can go to the finance department tomorrow to settle the accounts." Mu Qing-shui, who was initially excited, suddenly sobered up as if a bucket of cold water had been poured over him. Realizing that he was about to be fired, Mu Qing-shui became anxious. "Boss, please, if you have a device with you, you can log into the game and try it out. If I'm lying, you don't have to fire me. I'll resign immediately tomorrow." Chapter 8. Faced with Mu Qing-shui's pleading, Wu Gui hung up the phone. Wu Gui turned off the lamp and planned to go back to sleep, but Mu Qing-shui's words kept replaying in his mind. Unable to fall asleep, Wu Gui finally turned on the light and went to the study. Rubbing his eyes, Wu Gui turned on his computer, entered the management page of Platform 173, and clicked on the list of games to be reviewed. It took Wu Gui quite some time to find the game Battle Online that Mu Qing-shui had mentioned before among more than 100 games. Just as Mu Qing-shui said, the game was only 800 megabytes. Wu Gui was silent for a moment, then took out the virtual reality helmet from the desk, connected it to the computer, and downloaded the game. Wu Gui entered the game with the mentality of testing the poison. When the scene in the game appeared, Wu Gui's eyes widened. The simulation of the game was as perfect as Mu Qing-shui said. Wu Gui, who did not believe it, expanded his exploration area in the game, hoping to find something like the air wall in the game. He played for the whole night until he entered the Ghost Mountains, encountered the Netherworld Force, and was punched to death. After exiting the game, Wu Gui was still excited. After thinking for a while, he took out his phone and called the supervisor of the platform. The supervisor of Platform 173 was surprised when he received the call because Wu Gui would never call him. "Sun Chi, I want you to find the game company that developed Battle Online immediately. Send me their contact information as soon as you get it." The supervisor, Sun Chi, was still a little confused, but he quickly agreed. Sun Chi did not dare to delay his boss's order and quickly logged into the management platform of the website. However, when he found Battle Online, he found that the game only stated the website of the producer, but the phone number was not filled in, which made him anxious. Fortunately, there was a reply email from Platform 173 for the game's review. He quickly typed a paragraph into the email and sent it to Lu Wu. After that, he waited at the side. At the same time, Lu Wu, who was eating with Bailey at a roadside restaurant, felt his phone vibrate. He took out his phone and found that it was an email signed by Platform 173. Feeling excited, he opened the email. However, it was not a notification that he had passed the review that he was expecting. It was a request for his contact information. Although he did not know why she wanted his contact number, Lu Wu returned it anyway. Lu Wu smiled as he looked at Bailey, who was wolfing down her food. He put his phone back into his pocket and rubbed Bailey's head. He felt that Bailey had suffered for so many days with him, and she had suffered a lot. Sun Chi, who was waiting anxiously for a reply, saw the reply notification on the bottom right corner of the computer and quickly opened it. Seeing that it was the contact information that the boss wanted, Sun Chi breathed a sigh of relief. He copied the above number and sent it to the boss, Wu Gui. Like Sun Chi, Wu Gui was sitting in the study, smoking a cigarette. The ashtray was filled with cigarette butts, and his red eyes showed that he had not slept all night. However, Wu Gui was still very excited because he knew that this was really a chance for the platform to rise. After reading Sun Chi's message, Wu Gui dialed Lu Wu's number without hesitation. "Hello, may I ask who you are?" A young voice came from the phone. Wu Gui took a deep breath and said, "Hello, are you the owner of Battle Online? I'm the person in charge of Platform 173. I have something to discuss with you. Are you free?" Lu Wu was a little surprised, but he thought that Platform 173 was looking for him to discuss the problems of the game. "Sure, no problem. I can come over now." "No need. I'm looking for you. Where are you now?" Wu Gui quickly replied. This made Lu Wu realize that his game had been taken seriously. He was looking forward to it, then sent his coordinates to Wu Gui. After hanging up, Wu Gui was very excited. He thought that he would need to arrange a plane, but he did not expect this person to be in Sangarama City. Then Wu Gui called the driver and asked him to come and pick him up immediately. He changed his clothes, tidied up, and left in a hurry. In less than 20 minutes, Wu Gui arrived at the location shown by the coordinates. Looking at the shabby restaurant in the distance, Wu Gui looked at the location shown on his phone again. After confirming that it was correct, he got out of the car and walked into the restaurant. It was noon, and there were many people in the restaurant. Looking around, Wu Gui could not identify who it was, so he took out his phone and dialed Lu Wu's number. Seeing that Lu Wu had picked up the phone, Wu Gui took a step forward. "Hello, I'm Wu Gui. I'm looking for you." Lu Wu was a little surprised. He did not expect the person in charge of Platform 173 to arrive so soon. He stood up and shook hands with him, then said, "Hello, how can I help you? Can I have a word with you?" Wu Gui looked around. Obviously, this was not a good place to talk. "Hey, my wife, don't be in such a hurry. Let me finish eating first." Bailey looked reluctant when she heard that she had to leave. After all, she had been eating instant noodles with Lu Wu for a few days, and it was rare for her to have a good meal. How could she bear to leave? "Who is this little friend?" "Oh, my sister," Lu Wu answered. Seeing that Bailey was unwilling to leave, Wu Gui had no choice but to say, "Little girl, let's go somewhere else to eat better." Bailey was very happy with his words. She turned her head and asked with her eyes shining, "Really?" Wu Gui could not help but laugh. "Of course." Bailey put down her chopsticks reluctantly, held Lu Wu's hand, and walked out of the restaurant, getting into Wu Gui's car. Sitting in the car, Lu Wu was secretly surprised. Was this platform 173 so rich that the person in charge could have a limited edition extreme blue levitating supercar? Wu Gui took this conversation very seriously. He booked a private room at the best hotel in Indigo City, the Palace Hotel. When they arrived, he even spent money on a bottle of wine that cost 680,000 yuan. Lu Wu was shocked when he saw the price on the menu. This supervisor is too rich. After the dishes were served, Wu Gui finally smiled and said, "I would like to ask which famous studio is the developer of this game?" Lu Wu was stunned. He really could not answer this question. If there was really a developer, there were only two people, the Elder Master and Bailey. He was at most a planner. "Is it hard to say?" It's okay. Come, let's drink." Wu Gui smiled awkwardly, thinking about how to ask. Facing the table full of delicious food, Bailey, whose eyes were shining, had already started eating. Lu Wu did not hold back and started eating, taking a sip from time to time when Wu Gui toasted him. After 3 rounds of wine, Wu Gui, whose face was red, finally got to the point. "Brother Little Wu, do you have any intention of selling this game?" As if he had thought of something, Wu Gui added, "Don't worry. Platform 173 will definitely give you a satisfactory price." Lu Wu, who had already realized Wu Gui's intention, muttered to himself, "Old fox," in his heart. He was really after his game. "Our team spent a lot of effort on the development of this game. We really have no intention of selling it." Lu Wu rejected tactfully. 10 billion. What do you think of this price?" Taking a deep breath, Lu Wu calmed his excited heart. "We developed this game together out of passion. As for the money, 15 billion. Chapter 9. Faced with Mu Qingshui's pleading, Wu Gui hung up the phone. Wu Gui turned off the lamp and planned to go back to sleep. But Mu Qingshui's words kept replaying in his mind. Unable to fall asleep, Wu Gui finally turned on the light and went to the study. Rubbing his eyes, Wu Gui turned on his computer, entered the management page of Platform 173, and clicked on the list of games to be reviewed. It took Wu Gui quite some time to find the game battle online that Mu Qingshui had mentioned before among more than 100 games. Just as Mu Qingshui said, the game was only 800 megabytes. Wu Gui was silent for a moment, then took out the virtual reality helmet from the desk, connected it to the computer, and downloaded the game. Wu Gui entered the game with the mentality of testing the poison. When the scene in the game appeared, Wu Gui's eyes widened. The simulation of the game was as perfect as Mu Qingshui said. Wu Gui, who did not believe it, expanded his exploration area in the game, hoping to find something like the air wall in the game. He played for the whole night until he entered the Ghost Mountains, encountered the Netherworld Force, and was punched to death. After exiting the game, Wu Gui was still excited. After thinking for a while, he took out his phone and called the supervisor of the platform. The supervisor of Platform 173 was surprised when he received the call because Wu Gui would never call him. "Sun Qi, I want you to find the game company that developed Battle Online immediately. Send me their contact information as soon as you get it." The supervisor, Sun Qi, was still a little confused, but he quickly agreed. Sun Qi did not dare to delay his boss's order and quickly logged into the management platform of the website. However, when he found Battle Online, he found that the game only stated the website of the producer, but the phone number was not filled in, which made him anxious. Fortunately, there was a reply email from Platform 173 for the game's review. He quickly typed a paragraph into the email and sent it to Lu Wu. After that, he waited at the side. At the same time, Lu Wu, who was eating with Bailey at a roadside restaurant, felt his phone vibrate. He took out his phone and found that it was an email signed by Platform 173. Feeling excited, he opened the email. However, it was not a notification that he had passed the review that he was expecting. It was a request for his contact information. Although he did not know why she wanted his contact number, Lu Wu returned it anyway. Lu Wu smiled as he looked at Bailey, who was wolfing down her food. He put his phone back into his pocket and rubbed Bailey's head. He felt that Bailey had suffered for so many days with him, and she had suffered a lot. Sun Chi, who was waiting anxiously for a reply, saw the reply notification on the bottom right corner of the computer and quickly opened it. Seeing that it was the contact information that the boss wanted, Sun Chi breathed a sigh of relief. He copied the above number and sent it to the boss, Wu Gui. Like Sun Chi, Wu Gui was sitting in the study, smoking. The ashtray was filled with cigarette butts, and his red eyes showed that he hadn't slept all night. However, Wu Gui was still very excited because he knew that this was really a chance for the platform to rise. After reading Sun Chi's message, Wu Gui dialed Lu Wu's number without hesitation. "Hello, may I ask who you are?" A young voice came from the phone. Wu Gui took a deep breath and said, "Hello, are you the owner of Battle Online? I'm the person in charge of Platform 173. I have something to discuss with you. Are you free?" Lu Wu was a little surprised, but he thought that Platform 173 was looking for him to discuss the problems of the game. "Sure, no problem. I can come over now." "No need. I'm looking for you. Where are you now?" Wu Gui quickly replied. This made Lu Wu realize that his game had been taken seriously. He was looking forward to it, then sent his coordinates to Wu Gui. After hanging up, Wu Gui was very excited. He thought that he would need to arrange a plane, but he didn't expect this person to be in Indigo City. Then Wu Gui called the driver and asked him to come and pick him up immediately. He changed his clothes, tidied up, and left in a hurry. In less than 20 minutes, Wu Gui arrived at the location shown by the coordinates. Looking at the shabby restaurant in the distance, Wu Gui looked at the location shown on his phone again. After confirming that it was correct, he got out of the car and walked into the restaurant. It was noon, and there were many people in the restaurant. Looking around, Wu Gui couldn't identify who it was, so he took out his phone and dialed Lu Wu's number. Seeing that Lu Wu had picked up the phone, Wu Gui took a step forward. "Hello, I'm Wu Gui. I'm looking for you." Lu Wu was a little surprised. He didn't expect the person in charge of Platform 173 to arrive so soon. He stood up and shook hands with him, then said, "Hello, how can I help you? Can I have a word with you?" Wu Gui looked around. It was obvious that this was not a good place to talk. "Hey, my wife, don't rush. Let me finish eating first." Bailey looked reluctant when she heard that she had to leave. After all, she had been eating instant noodles with Lu Wu for a few days, and it was rare for her to have a good meal. How could she bear to leave? "Who is this little friend?" "Oh, my sister," Lu Wu answered. Seeing that Bailey was unwilling to leave, Wu Gui had no choice but to say, "Little girl, let's go somewhere else to eat better." Bailey was very happy with his words. She turned around and asked with her eyes shining, "Really?" Wu Gui couldn't help but laugh. "Of course." Bailey put down her chopsticks reluctantly, held Lu Wu's hand, and walked out of the restaurant, getting into Wu Gui's car. Sitting in the car, Lu Wu was secretly surprised. Was this Platform 173 so rich that the person in charge could have a limited edition, extreme blue, levitating supercar? Wu Gui took this conversation very seriously. He booked a private room at the best hotel in Indigo City, the Palace Hotel. When they arrived, he even spent money on a bottle of wine that cost 680,000 yuan. Lu Wu was shocked when he saw the price on the menu. This supervisor was too rich. After the dishes were served, Wu Gui finally smiled and said, "I'd like to ask which famous studio is the developer of this game?" Lu Wu was stunned. He really couldn't answer this question. If there was really a developer, there were only two people, the Elder Master and Bailey. He was at most a planner. "Is it hard to say?" It's okay. Come, let's drink." Wu Gui smiled awkwardly, thinking about how to ask. Facing the table full of delicious food, Bailey, whose eyes were shining, had already started eating. Lu Wu didn't hold back and started eating, occasionally taking a sip when Wu Gui made a toast. After 3 rounds of wine, Wu Gui, whose face was red, finally got to the point. "Brother Little Wu, do you have any intention of selling this game?" Wu Guai seemed to have thought of something, he added. Don't worry, Platform 173 will definitely give you a satisfactory price. Lu Wu, who had already figured out Wu Guai's intention, muttered in his heart, Old fox, he was indeed plotting to sell his game. Our team spent a lot of effort on the development of this game. We really don't have any intention of selling it. Lu Wu rejected tactfully. 10 billion. What do you think of this price? Taking a deep breath, Lu Wu calmed his excited heart. We developed this game together because of our passion. As for the money, 15 billion. Chapter 10. After confirming the plan, Lu Wu and Bai Li began to study the cinematic plot. After spending the whole afternoon discussing and confirming the general direction of the plot, Lu Wu held Bai Li's hand and went to the area where the Mansion of the Dead was located. Looking at the dilapidated palace of the Mansion of the Dead, Lu Wu waved his hand and activated the artifact's ability. A large amount of Yin energy surged from all directions and condensed above the Mansion of the Dead. Within a moment, a rolling dark cloud formed and descended slowly. It shrouded the abandoned Mansion of the Dead and solidified continuously. Soon, a magnificent hall of the Mansion of the Dead appeared in front of them. A black statue of a giant elephant stood in front of the hall. The towering black pagoda pillar towered into the sky. In front of the 2 doors of the Mansion of the Dead, there were giant handles made of Yin energy. It looked magnificent and extraordinary. At this moment, Lu Wu floated into the air with the help of the Yin energy. He waved his hand again, and countless Yin energy condensed on his body. A set of dazzling armor that emitted a black gemstone luster formed on his body. In front of Lu Wu, Yin energy surged, and countless terrifying ghosts formed from within. Some of these monsters were as big as mountains, and some had wings on their backs. They all looked hideous and terrifying. Turn it on. Lu Wu waved at Bai Li, who was holding the virtual reality helmet. Upon receiving the instruction, Bai Li nodded her head vigorously. She then turned on the recording function of the virtual reality helmet and pointed the camera at Lu Wu. At the same time, a cloud made of Yin energy appeared under her feet and lifted her up to film the surroundings. The plot had officially begun. Above the dark cloud, countless hideous and terrifying ghosts were roaring and snarling as they rushed down. At the same time, a deafening roar came from the dark cloud. King of Baiki, do you think you can protect your people? The whole of Baiki is mine. At the same time, a mass of dark fog surged, and a huge black dragon head slowly emerged from the cloud. Its scarlet eyes were filled with bloodthirsty coldness as it stared coldly at the ground. Then let's fight. Lu Wu replied coldly. Then Lu Wu waved his hand behind him. Are the soldiers of Baiki ready to fight? Fight, fight, fight. Along with the heavy sound of footsteps, groups of Yin soldiers in armor walked out from the dark fog. Hundreds of thousands of Yin soldiers raised their weapons and faced off against the strange beasts in the sky. Their eyes were filled with boundless fighting spirit, and there was no trace of fear. Slay the enemy with me, Lu Wu bellowed, and the hundreds of thousands of Yin soldiers on the ground immediately rose into the air. Fight, fight, fight! Gusts of dark, chilly wind blew past, and the black flag of the king of Baiki fluttered violently in the air. The battle was about to begin. The battle was extremely tragic. Figures kept falling from the sky, and the ground was littered with broken limbs. Countless soldiers died because of this, and the opposing monster army also suffered heavy casualties under the tenacious resistance of the Baiki army. At the end of the battle, the Black Dragon King personally joined the fight against Lu Wu, who was covered in wounds. The fight between the two bosses set off a violent gust of wind. The surrounding dark clouds were torn apart by the violent wind, revealing the hazy blood moon hanging high in the sky. However, the Black Dragon King's strength was obviously higher than the King of Baiki. Just when the battle was about to end, Lu Wu roared and his body began to burn. Countless black flames climbed onto his body and turned into a fireball, pouncing on the terrified Black Dragon King. Suddenly, the Black Dragon King's shrill scream echoed in the sky. The huge flames spread for thousands of miles, igniting countless monsters and turning them into fireballs that fell from the sky. In the end, the Beiki army still won the battle, but they had lost their leader, the King of Beiki. The magnificent mansion of the dead of Beiki was also ignited by the falling sparks. It burned fiercely, announcing the passing of a hero. Blood rained down from the sky again. Countless soldiers knelt on the ground, bowing their heads in remembrance of the king who sacrificed his life for the land of Beiki. Click! Bei Li yelled excitedly. At this moment, Lu Wu's figure appeared in the sky again, and he descended rapidly. The scenery that was condensed by the yin energy dissipated with the wind, and everything returned to normal. The large-scale scenery that was condensed by the yin energy looked very real, but in fact they were all empty shells that could not exist for a long time. However, they were very useful as CG. Lu Wu came to the side of the excited Bei Li, took the virtual reality helmet from her and put it on his head. The CG began to play, and the scene that was shot from Bei Li's perspective began to move forward in the sky. Looking at the scene, even Lu Wu, who was the main actor, was shocked. The rendering and effects of the scene were countless times better than those CG animations. Moreover, since it was a live shot, Bei Li kept walking around the battlefield, providing the players with a perspective to observe the battlefield. It was very immersive. Another important point was that Bei Li's shooting position was perfect every time. It could be said that the Beiki army was facing death with equanimity, and also the king of Beiki's tragic sacrifice at the end. Initially, Lu Wu planned to rehearse a few times and choose a good one to upload. However, after watching it, Lu Wu was very satisfied with the shooting, so he did not need to waste any more time. Hence, he dragged Bei Li back to the world of the living. After copying the CG to the computer, they opened the software and made some editing and additions. The two of them looked at it carefully again before they were satisfied. He remembered that Wu Guai had mentioned before he left that he could send him a copy of the CG once it was done, so that he could take a look and refer to it. After all, if the CG was well made, it would be very attractive to the players. As a professional gamer, Wu Guai could point out the flaws in the CG. Hence, Lu Wu sent the CG attachment to Wu Gui's mailbox in the form of an email. Next, Lu Wu took out the initial soul that the players had obtained from selling the shop from the artifact. Looking at the light soul that was glowing with green light in his hand, Lu Wu began to think about the character design of the first NPC. The importance of an NPC to a game was obvious. Apart from guiding the players to experience the game, an NPC with a perfect character design would even have many players and fans. This was a challenge for Lu Wu, who had been in this industry for many years. In order to design this NPC, Lu Wu began to look through the information of various NPCs in the game. After looking at a few NPCs that had good reviews from the players, he began to design the NPC after discussing with Bei Li. Since it was a newborn soul, its interior was still pure. Lu Wu first used 100 soul points to catalyze it and condensed it into a human form. Soon, a handsome man with snow-white long hair dressed in a black robe appeared in front of Lu Wu. After looking at him carefully, Lu Wu nodded his head in satisfaction. The body, condensed by the pure soul points, was obviously stronger than the yin energy condensed. Even though it was just a newborn, it already had the strength of a player who had reached at least level 10. However, the only flaw was that the man's expression was dull, and he did not seem to have any spirituality. Hence, Lu Wu used the artifact and began to implant memories and engrave his duties as an NPC into the depths of the man's soul. Chapter 11. With the help of many NPC profiles, Lu Wu and Bei Li finally decided on the first NPC and named him Lu Mo. His background in the game was the adopted son of the king of Beiki. To the players, Lu Mo's role was similar to that of the village chief of the novice village in other games. He could answer the players' questions about the land of Beiki. Another function was that after the players reached level 20, they could pay 50 soul coins to Lu Wu to establish a guild. Of course, since Lu Mo was an NPC with a soul, he had his own consciousness. Other than the NPC settings, he would also have his own hobbies and thoughts. This would make the game full of uncertainty and improve the gameplay. After Lu Mo was sent to the underworld, he began to wander around the mansion of the dead. He often turned his head to look at the ruins of the mansion of the dead with a sad expression on his face. After that, Lu Wu opened the notebook that was filled with all kinds of settings. At this stage, there was no problem with the game experience, but there was still a lot of content that needed to be enriched. For example, the class skills and subsequent NPC settings. Lu Wu had even thought of adding a few expansion packs when the number of players reached a certain level. One of them was the duel arena that would make the competition more interesting. Of course, the concept of the content was still in Lu Wu's mind at this stage. He had yet to design it in detail. At the same time, Wu Guai, who was in a meeting with Game Company 173, received a game's cinematic video sent by Lu Wu. Wu Guai originally planned to watch the content after the meeting. However, when he saw that it was signed by Lu Wu, he put the meeting on hold and opened the game's cinematic video impatiently. When he saw hundreds of thousands of Yin soldiers fighting against the strange beasts that descended from the sky, the Beiki flag that stood tall in the howling chilly wind, and the king of Beiki's heroic attack at the cost of his life, he could not help but slap the table emotionally. All right. Seeing the puzzled looks from his subordinates, Wu Guai immediately transferred the cinematic video to the dedicated computer for the meeting. Put on your virtual reality helmets and watch this game's cinematic video. Although everyone was confused, they still obeyed and picked up the virtual reality helmets that were placed beside each seat. These virtual reality helmets were often used in meetings. After all, every meeting was about the development of the gaming platform and game testing. They often needed to put on the helmets to experience it, but this was the first time they used it to watch a game cinematic video. After seeing everyone put on their helmets, Wu Gui also put on a virtual helmet. Then he asked his assistant to play a cinematic video. At the beginning of the video, the words "Battle Online" slowly appeared in the darkness. Then, the darkness dissipated, and the image of the underworld emerged. A black dragon was leading countless monsters to descend from the sky, roaring at the armored man to declare his ownership of this land. When hundreds of thousands of Yin soldiers marched out of the black fog with Lu Wu's shouts, the blood of many people was ignited. They were looking forward to Lu Wu leading the Yin soldiers to defeat the giant dragon. The battle that followed was not so much a CG, but rather an epic war movie. The atmosphere was extremely well rendered. In the end, when the king of Beiki turned into flames and pounced on the giant dragon, everyone's heart tightened. They were completely immersed in the battle, as if they were one of the 100,000 Yin soldiers. In the end, the world turned into a sea of fire. The burning sparks lit up the mansion of the dead and the earth. All the soldiers lowered their heads and knelt on one knee, remembering the passing of the king of Beiki. Then the screen slowly dimmed, and the words "Battle Online" appeared again. At the end of the video, there was a paragraph of text. Game reality shot. After taking off the helmets, the meeting room became noisy. Everyone was asking what kind of game Battle Online was that it could produce such an amazing game cinematic. However, many people were skeptical about the game reality shot because the cinematic was too realistic. There was no game in the market that had such a high degree of realism. Moreover, it was the usual practice of many game companies to optimize the game's cinematic. However, they had to admit that the cinematic of this game had really conquered their hearts. Wu Guai smiled mysteriously. You will know soon. This game will be logged on our homepage in the next few days. You can try it out then. I promise you won't be disappointed. Then the meeting continued. However, The shocking cinematic of Battle Online still appeared in everyone's mind from time to time. After the meeting ended, Wu Guai took out a pack of cigarettes and lit one. He frowned and started smoking. In the email, Lu Wu wrote that he wanted Wu Guai's advice on how to improve the cinematic. However, to be honest, he had experienced the game and knew that the cinematic was definitely shot in the game. Therefore, after watching it a few more times, he still could not find anything that he could point out. This made him feel very helpless. However, he still took out his phone and dialed Lu Wu's number. After Lu Wu picked up the phone, Wu Guai smiled and said, "Brother Lu, I've seen your cinematic. To be honest, I can't believe that you guys made the cinematic so quickly. Did you prepare it beforehand?" Hearing this, Lu Wu followed Wu Guai's words and admitted that the cinematic had been made a long time ago. After all, it was just mentioned yesterday, and the cinematic was released today. It was really suspicious. To be honest, I really can't believe that your team is made up of rookies who are unknown in the gaming industry. Your technical level is completely at the top of the world. Do you have time to introduce me to you? Lu Wu was put in a difficult position when he heard this. He could not possibly tell him that he had seen our team the other day and that it was just the two of us. He could only give a perfunctory answer. After chatting for a while, Wu Guai suddenly said, "Brother Lu, to be honest, there is no problem with the cinematic in your game. However, there is one thing that is missing." Lu Wu was stunned and quickly asked, "What is it?" "There are no flaws in the rendering of the music, the graphics of the scenes, and the sounds of the fighting. However, the music that is the most important to enhance the atmosphere is missing. Moreover, if you want to make the game bigger, BGM itself is very important. This is what you guys are missing." Wu Guai's words hit the nail on the head and made Lu Wu realize the problem. How could there be a cinematic without BGM? This was indeed a big problem. Moreover, from this problem, Lu Wu realized that the theme song of the game had not been finalized yet. However, Lu Wu had no knowledge in this area, so he could only ask Wu Guai for advice. "Hee, what's so difficult about this? The theme song is easy. You can spend money to write the lyrics and then find a popular celebrity to sing it." Chapter 12. Wu Guai's suggestion sounded simple, but hiring someone to compose and write songs required money, and hiring a superstar was even more expensive. Lu Wu could not afford it with his current capability. Therefore, Lu Wu temporarily gave up on this idea. As for the theme song, he would think about it when the game was developed to a certain scale and he had sufficient funds. Wu Guai was surprised to hear that Lu Wu did not intend to produce a theme song and BGM for the battle scenes. However, Lu Wu's reason was that he wanted the players to experience the original flavor of the game. Wu Guai had nothing to say about this, but he felt that Lu Wu's idea was unique. He would never have thought that Lu Wu did not have the money. After all, in his opinion, even if the game development team did not have enough funds to produce a theme song for a game of this scale, they would not be short of money. After hanging up the phone, Wu Guai logged into the management page of Platform 173 and looked at the 15 games that the reviewers had selected with a score of 8 and above. 3 of the games were given a score of 9 and above by the reviewers. They were Battle Online, 10 points, Natural Disaster of Evolution, 9, 2 points, and Rise of the Protoss, 9, 1 points. Seeing that Battle Online was ranked first, Wu Guai's expression showed that he had expected it. All 8 reviewers had given it full marks, and they all thought highly of the game's potential. Since the evaluation was out, Wu Guai immediately decided that the players would vote and score the PK ranking of these 15 games from tomorrow onwards. The promotion on the first day would naturally start with the 3 games with the highest scores. 15 games would be promoted within 5 days, and the final evaluation would take place after half a month of waiting. Wu Guai naturally informed Lu Wu of this news in advance, which made Lu Wu and Bailey excited. They believed that with the quality of this game, there would definitely be a group of loyal players. At the same time, in the headquarters of Soaring Dragon Game Studio, located in the city center of Shinkai City. "Boss, look, the evaluation for Platform 173 is out. A skinny man wearing glasses said excitedly as he stared at the message on the count of platform 173. Wow, boss, we got 9. 2. Hearing this, the man who was addressed as boss quickly walked to the side of the screen and smiled as he looked at the huge 9. 2. One had to know that they had spent a total of 7 years and a lot of effort on the game, Evolved Disaster. Behind this score was the result of their painstaking efforts day and night. Looks like this first place. The man was about to say that the first place was in the bag, but he suddenly realized that there was another game above his game. Battle Online, 10 points. The smile on Li Tianxia's face suddenly froze. He sent his underlings away and sat in front of the computer, his expression uncertain. In Li Tianxia's opinion, the game of his studio should have been the first, but there was another game with a full score. Li Tianxia couldn't accept it. He even suspected that there was an inside story in this activity. He didn't believe that his game would lose to others. Opening the homepage of Battle Online, Li Tianxia was even more certain that there was an insider speculation when he saw the introduction of the game, which had a perfect score, stated that it was almost 100% realistic. He immediately took out his mobile phone and looked through his contacts. He found Wu Gui's number and called him. Beep, beep. A moment later, the call went through. Brotherly, it's been a long time since we last talked. Why are you so free to call me this time? Wu Gui's chuckling voice came from the phone. Brother Wu, I treated you as my brother and participated in the game review activity that you planned. You're playing dirty. You're looking down on me. Li Tianxia said in a deep voice, suppressing his anger that was about to explode. Hearing this, Wu Gui was stunned at first, and then he was enraged. He thought that the person in charge of the activity that he planned was behind the scenes, which was something that he would never allow to happen. Brother, tell me what's going on. If there's a problem on my side, I'll definitely answer to you. Wu Gui's guarantee made Li Tianxia's anger subside. He then said, You should know about the disaster of evolution that our team spent 7 years developing, right? Of course. How can I not know about the sword that your Soaring Dragon studio honed for 7 years? I remember that your game was in the top 10 on the most anticipated new games list. Since you know about it, can you explain to me what's going on with Battle Online? Hearing this, Wu Gui suddenly understood why Li Tianxia was here. He could not help but feel amused. Brotherly, do you mean that you're sullen and dissatisfied with the first place of Battle Online? If the game is done well, why would I be dissatisfied? However, you put an 800 megabytes game in the first place. The introduction even said that it's almost 100% authentic and shamelessly gave a rating of 10 out of 10. I'd like to know how much benefits this lousy game has given you. Aren't you afraid of tarnishing the authority of your gaming platform by promoting it like this? Li Tianxia spat out everything he wanted to say in one breath. At this moment, Wu Gui laughed out loud. Brotherly, I finally understand why you're so angry. Anyway, you can add the top 3 games to the main page of the platform for promotion tomorrow. You can download it and try it. If you think that the game isn't worth 10 out of 10, I'll take it down personally and replace your game with the first place. How about that? I'll leave the decision to you. I'm being very sincere, right? Wu Gui said with a smile at the end. This made Li Tianxia, who was about to denounce him, confused. Brother Wu, what do you mean by this? You won't believe me no matter what I say. When the game is released on the platform tomorrow, give me a reply after you experience it yourself. That's all, I'll hang up now. After Wu Gui hung up the phone, Li Tianxia frowned. From Wu Gui's words, he could tell that Wu Gui did not seem to have any doubts about the ranking this time. Moreover, it was obvious that Wu Gui was full of confidence in the game by asking him to experience Battle Online. This puzzled Li Tianxia. However, even so, Li Tianxia did not believe that the game made by his team would lose. If he had lost to Rise of Protoss produced by Demon Wolf Studios, he would have felt better. After all, many players had been looking forward to this game during its development period. Public opinion often compared the two games that would be released at the same time to see which was better. However, Licentia could not believe that he lost to a game that he had never heard of, and the content of the introduction seemed extremely unreal. After all, how could there not be public publicity before the release of a large-scale game? It's released tomorrow, right? I'd like to see how good this game is. Chapter 13. It was a tough day for Licentia. Even though it was already 11 o'clock at night, he was still in the studio, smoking and waiting for Platform 173's new game promotion event to go live. Unlike Licentia, many players of Platform 173 were also paying close attention to the changes on the website. The two big games would be officially released to the public today. It was a joyous occasion for the players, and they were ready to experience the games as soon as possible. However, it was obvious that they were looking forward to Catastrophe of Evolution and Rise of Protoss, the two new games with great potential. They had no feelings for the unknown game, Battle Online. When the bell rang at 12:00 in the city, Licentia and the expectant players clicked on the website refresh interface. The first day of the new games competition. Today's recommended games are as follows: Battle Online 10 points, Catastrophe of Evolution 9.2, Rise of Protoss 9.1. Large red fonts appeared on the homepage of the website. However, everyone was surprised to see the ratings. In their opinion, the first place of the new games competition should be the contest between Catastrophe of Evolution and Rise of Protoss. What the hell was Battle Online, which had scored 10 points? Driven by curiosity, many people clicked on the game, wanting to see the game's introduction and reviews. 100% realism? Was that for real? Everyone who saw the introduction was dumbfounded. They scrolled down quickly to see the reviews of the game by the game evaluators. Game evaluator Wang. I have to say, if you only read the introduction, you might miss out on an epic-making game. Even I can't resist its charm. Game evaluator Li. I experienced the game with the mentality of testing poison, but I was so addicted to it that I couldn't pull myself out. I give a perfect rating. Game evaluator Feng. Before I give out my score, I have played this game for about 22 hours. Other than the high degree of realism, there is a hidden feature that shocked me. When I level up in the game, I can feel my body getting stronger. What is this feeling? I chose the assassin character, and I can feel the speed of lightning in the game. I am addicted to this superhuman feeling. I really want to give this game 100 points, but it's a pity that the upper limit is 10 points. Game evaluator Money. I'm a curious person. In order to explore this game, I didn't follow the quest's instructions to the Ghost Mountains. Instead, I wandered around the place. Other than the fact that the terrain was so realistic that it shocked me, I even met a ghost man in armor. When I talked to the NPC, I felt that the NPC in front of me was a living creature with intelligence, not an NPC. This game is too scary. To show my respect, I'll give it to you. Oh right, one last reminder. Don't try to anger the NPCs in the game out of curiosity. I'll be F*King, killed QAQ. These famous game evaluators in the gaming circle gave such high ratings, which undoubtedly piqued the curiosity of many players. Driven by curiosity, many players clicked on the download button. Li Tianxia browsed through the comments of the evaluators, and his expression changed. How could he believe that an 800 megabytes game could be 100% realistic? It was a joke to him. Then he downloaded the game, put on the helmet, and started the game experience. Suddenly, the CG scene that was implanted in the game's opening scene appeared. In the gloomy sky, countless monsters revealed their hideous heads amidst the rolling dark clouds. The realistic scene undoubtedly shocked all the players who entered the game. As the plot progressed, the 100,000 ghost soldiers appeared in an orderly manner, igniting the passion of the players. The prelude to an epic battle began at this moment. When the CG ended and the entire world seemed to have turned into a sea of fire, the game officially began, and the character class selection interface appeared. At this moment, Li Tianxia and the other players were still in shock. From Li Tianxia's point of view, the CG was more than 800 megabytes. What kind of monster company was this? How did they manage to compress the game to only 800 megabytes? This was completely against common sense. In order to find out, Li Tianxia chose the Berserker class and officially started the game. As soon as he entered the game, he found himself surrounded by new players who had just entered the game. At this moment, they were pointing at the mansion of the dead that had been burned into ruins. The great king of Beiki, let me inherit your will and restore your former glory. At this moment, a young man standing beside Li Tianxia shouted as he stared at the ruins of the mansion of the dead with grief and indignation. Ah, Chi, stop fooling around. Follow me to look for the boss. This game is F*King amazing. I'm afraid that we won't be able to get the kill if there are too many people later. The young man wanted to say something else, but he was dragged away by his teammates. Looking around, Li Tianxia fell into silence. At this moment, he finally understood why Wu Gui said that. Even as a professional, he was still amazed by this game. With the current technology, achieving a 100% degree of realism was something he didn't even dare to think about. However, now that such a game had appeared in front of him, he had no choice but to believe it. At this moment, Li Tianxia's mentality changed from being unbalanced to exploring and learning in the game. According to the mission instructions, he followed a large group of players and began to run toward the ghost mountains along the map. However, the popularity of this game was obviously beyond his imagination. The initial mission of killing 10 wandering souls could not be completed at all. The outside world was full of people wandering around looking for wandering souls. Every time they found a wandering soul, more than 10 people would rush forward together. This made Li Tianxia dumbfounded as he could not get the kill at all. Unlike Wang Damong and the others, many new players would only die when they faced the wandering souls alone. Monsters like the wandering souls were actually stronger than the players who relied on Yin energy at the beginning. They did not have strong body movements. Even the strong berserker at the beginning would not be a match for the wandering souls if they faced them head-on. From time to time, a white light would appear and the players would be killed by the wandering souls. However, there was still a large number of players pouring into this game. In order to complete the new player mission, Li Tianxia had to find another way. He left the group of players and walked to the side. His idea was undoubtedly correct. Soon, he found a wandering soul that was alone. This made Li Tianxia excited. He raised his sword and charged toward the wandering soul. Although Li Tianxia was not as strong as professional players like Wang Damong in terms of combat skills, he was more than capable of dodging the attacks of the wandering souls. As the wandering soul became more and more transparent and was about to disappear, Li Tianxia felt a sense of satisfaction in his heart. He had completely forgotten the real purpose of entering this game. Just as the sword in his hand slashed down heavily, ready to reap the life of the wandering soul, a figure suddenly flashed from the side and slammed into him, knocking him to the ground. Above his head, a bloody -5 appeared. Just when Li Tianxia was confused about what was going on, 2 more figures appeared behind him. 2 daggers appeared at the same time and stabbed into his neck ruthlessly. -8-9. You have been killed by player Yi Shuer. The screen gradually darkened. The wandering soul that was about to die was killed by the berserker who had knocked him away. At this moment, the 2 female assassins turned around and made a face at his corpse. My kill was stolen, and I was killed. At this moment, Li Tianxia was dumbfounded. Chapter 14. Exiting the game, Li Tianxia was still in a state of disbelief. His kill was stolen, and he was even killed. This made him furious, and he immediately chose to log in again. Dear player, you have died in the game. The 3-hour cooldown for resurrection has begun. What the F***CK? Which game developer designed this stupid function? They must be crazy. Li Tianxia was completely dumbfounded. Suddenly, he remembered how he had gotten into the game. He had even substituted himself in the game. Li Tianxia took a deep breath. He realized that this game was really scary. Even a senior game developer like him got himself into the game unknowingly. He opened the homepage of Platform 173 and clicked on Battle Online again. This time, he realized that there were many comments from players below the game. Crayon_Shinchan, scary. I can't believe I'm able to encounter a game with 100% realism in my life. I voted for it decisively. I'll stop talking and continue playing the game. Jedi Knight, the CG is so good. I'm looking forward to making it into a movie. Passerby_A_B_C_D. Where's the game developer? Can you explain what the F***CK is the 3-hour cooldown? Paywall_stronger. F***CK. I was killed by a player in the game. This kill stealing is too crazy. Is there a GM to take care of this? Star Wars Guild. Our guild has officially entered this game. We're recruiting strong players. Let's explore together. Charge strike_gold. As I expected, number 1 is definitely here. At the same time, the Great Dragon Guild is recruiting. We're looking for strong players. I'm already at level 12. Run_jump_applied to strike_gold. Big brother, please carry me. I'm online for a long time. Lonely_snow_replied to strike_gold. Damn, level 12. Big brother, you're so fierce. Please carry me to kill wandering souls and complete the newbie mission. Watermelon_taro_replied to strike_gold. Big brother, can I ask which class is stronger? I'm stuck in choosing a class. I can't choose. Painful QAQ. Peppa_bore, I voted for it. I hope a good game won't be buried. I'm exploring the game and looking for companions. Li Tianxia fell into silence when he saw the densely packed game comments. With a sigh, he moved his mouse to the voting area in the upper right corner and voted for Battle Online. This time he was completely convinced. Initially, he was full of confidence in the catastrophe of evolution that his team had spent several years developing. However, after experiencing Battle Online, he felt that the game developed by his team was simply bullsh*t when compared to this game. Exiting the level 2 page and returning to the main page, Lichiani opened the page for Catastrophe Evolution. He noticed that there were also a lot of good reviews for this game, but he couldn't bring himself to be happy because he knew that these players would never come back after trying out Battle Online. It was sad to meet such an opponent. Li Tianxia felt pressured and didn't know what to do. At that moment, Lu Wu and Bei Li were staring at the homepage of Platform 173. They were excited as the votes kept jumping. Meanwhile, the artifact continued to feed back information about the players who had logged in. Due to the overwhelming amount of information, Lu Wu turned on the screen and only displayed the number of players who were online. Less than 2 hours after the game was officially released on Platform 173, the total number of people who logged in had reached 30,213. Among them, there were 29,864 people who were online. Those who were offline were basically forced to log out of the game after death, according to the statistics of the artifact. In other words, the player retention rate of this game had reached a terrifying 100%. In other words, the number of players who had experienced this game had reached a terrifying 100%. Lu Wu and Bei Li were delighted. Lu Wu could not imagine how terrifying the undead army would be when there were millions, tens of millions, or even hundreds of millions of players in the game. It would be effortless for him to conquer the whole of Beiki. Lu Wu's phone rang. He picked it up and found that it was Wu Gui. Brother Wu, what's the matter? Lu Wu asked curiously. Brother, you must help me this time. Hearing the serious tone, Lu Wu thought that there was something wrong with the game, so he quickly asked, what happened? Sigh, it's infuriating when I say it. Originally, there weren't many players in this game, so I could still go online and kill some wandering souls. But today, with such a large number of people, I was killed while I was killing wandering souls. How can I tolerate this? Lu Wu did not know whether to laugh or cry. He thought it was something serious. It turned out that Wu Gui was killed in the game. What do you mean, Brother Wu? Soul coins. I need soul coins. Can you give me some soul coins so I can buy some decent equipment? I want to take revenge. It shouldn't be difficult for you, right? Lu Wu was stunned. To be honest, he did not plan to give out soul coins in the game. After all, they were very useful to him. However, Wu Gui had helped him a lot, so he did not want to reject him. Brother Wu, I'll be honest with you. After the development of this game is on the right track, soul coins will only be produced by killing monsters. Our research team has no choice. However, I kept 100 soul coins for myself before I invested in the game. I'll give you these 100 soul coins. I won't have any more in the future. Wu Gui was overjoyed when he heard that. He quickly agreed. But brother, from what you said, it seems that after the game is on the right track, everything is no longer under the control of your research team? That's right. In addition to the high degree of realism in this game, the development of things in the game is also free. Even we don't know what will happen next. So, please forgive me, brother. Wu Gui was shocked when he heard that. He took a deep breath and said, Brother, you must bring your research team to me when you have the chance. I really want to see what kind of monsters have such great abilities. After chatting for a while, he hung up the phone. He glanced at Bei Li, who was eating a biscuit, and closed his eyes. At this time, he had more than 2,000 soul coins. After searching for Wu Gui's name and locking on, he immediately sent 100 soul coins to Wu Gui. After the 3-hour cooldown period, Wu Gui logged into the game again. He was surprised to find that there were 100 soul coins in his backpack. He immediately opened the shop and bought a blue weapon, the Python sword, which was worth 100 soul coins. Wu Gui still had a vague impression of the people who killed him. He made up his mind and rushed towards the Ghost Mountains with the shining blue weapon in his hand. Coincidentally, he met Li Tianxia, who was also going to take revenge. After talking to each other, the two realized that the murderers who killed him were from the same team. Hence, the two of them went to the Ghost Mountains together, swearing to take revenge. Chapter 15. For the sake of revenge, the two of them avoided the wandering souls. Along the way, they found 2 women and a man who specialized in killing players at the entrance of the Ghost Mountains. Li Tianxia gritted his teeth when he saw the 3 of them. He was about to charge at them, but was stopped by Wu Gui. Brother Li, calm down. We'll kill them too if they kill us. We'll hide in the dark and wait for a chance to attack them. Li Tianxia felt that it made sense, and it was a better way to vent his anger. Therefore, the 2 of them followed the 3 of them from a distance and looked for cover from time to time. Wu Gui had a blue weapon and played the game for 2 more days than the other players. His level was higher than the other players. Therefore, he was confident that he could defeat the 3 of them. Yi Shua, and the rest did not notice that they were being followed by 2 people who wanted to take revenge. They were addicted to killing and were looking for other prey excitedly. When they were about to enter the Ghost Mountains, the number of players had decreased significantly. However, they still found 2 players who were fighting the Wreckage Warrior together. The 3 of them smiled maliciously and approached the 2 players quietly. They were ready to kill them at the critical moment. Time passed. Just when the Wreckage Warrior was about to die, Yi Shua, and the other 2 assassins took action. As usual, the Berserker blocked the 2 players in front while the 2 female assassins attacked them from the back. The trick was effective. The players who were distracted by the Wreckage Warrior did not notice the 2 assassins and were knocked down to the ground. Yi Shua, and the other 2 assassins quickly approached them and killed them with fatal attacks. Before the 3 of them could rejoice, 2 berserkers with great swords jumped out from the bushes not far away. Under their astonished gazes, the 2 berserkers quickly closed in and slashed at the berserker of their own faction. -18-7, 2 damage numbers appeared. Their berserker was killed in an instant and fell to the ground, while Yi Shua, and the other two were shocked. Wu Gui slashed at the wreckage warrior and stole the monster's experience points. He then exchanged a look with Li Tianxia and dashed toward Yi Shui, and the other two. Obviously, Yi Shui did not expect that she would be tricked. Before she could react, Wu Gui and Li Tianxia were already in front of her. However, Yi Shui did not panic. She lifted her dagger and thrust it at Wu Gui's neck. But to her surprise, Wu Gui did not choose to dodge, so the two attacks hit each other at the same time. 12-21 two damage values appeared simultaneously. Yi Shui cursed under her breath as she stared at the huge sword in Wu Gui's hand that was glowing with a blue light. However, the surroundings gradually darkened as the death notification appeared. After killing Yi Shui, Wu Gui immediately turned around and helped Li Tianxia kill the other female assassin. Subsequently, both of them laughed out loud and raised their middle fingers at Yi Shui's corpse. This made Yi Shui, who was still watching the scene, tremble with anger. She swore to herself that she would take revenge. In a manor villa in Sangarama City, a woman in a pink dress was sitting quietly on a bed. Her long purple hair cascaded down the side of the bed like a waterfall, and she looked very charming. After being stunned for a moment, Yi Shui regained her senses. She bared her canine teeth, and her face was filled with anger. She looked back at the virtual reality helmet beside her and felt that she couldn't take this lying down. Revenge. I want revenge. Furious, Yi Shui immediately took out her phone and dialed a number. Soon the call went through. Shui, is there anything I can help you with? Yi Chen asked weakly as he had worked hard the night before. Brother, your sister has been bullied. She was bullied very badly. Yi Shui said angrily. Hearing that, Yi Chen was stunned. Anger rose from the bottom of his heart. One must know that Yi Shui was like a pearl in their family. How dare someone bully her? They must be tired of living. Shui, tell me who it is. I'll kill him. Yi Chen said coldly. The person is very strong. Bring more people with you. I'll wait for you at home. All right, wait for me. I'll get more people now. After hanging up the phone, Yi Chen pushed away the woman who was still wrapped around his arm. He got up and quickly put on his clothes under her puzzled gaze. After putting on his clothes, Yi Chen took out his phone and called his friends in society. I don't care how strong you are. How dare you bully my sister? I'll teach you a lesson. After the furious Yi Chen left the house, he gathered his brothers at the entrance of a club. After a discussion, everyone wore a piece of red cloth on their arm and got into the car after getting their knives ready so that they would not kill the wrong people. They headed to the villa in the manor. When they arrived home, Yi Chen's ferocious manner shocked the butler. Meanwhile, Yi Shui was already waiting in the living room. Seeing Yi Shui, Yi Chen approached her with a worried expression. Shui, are you all right? No, I'm very, very angry now. Yi Shui answered gloomily. I've brought him here. Tell me who bullied you. We'll go and kill him now. Yi Shui was stunned to see close to 100 people with knives behind Yi Chen. That many? Didn't you say that the person is very strong? I'm just calling for more people. I'm afraid that I won't be able to defeat him. You're indeed my good brother. Yi Shui squinted and smiled. She pointed at a few metal boxes not far away to the butler next to her. Uncle Mu, distribute these. One for each person. Sister, what's this? We have weapons with us. Yi Chen was a little confused. The problem is that knives are useless. We have to use these. Yi Chen's heart skipped a beat when he heard that. He thought that his sister had gotten some controlled weapons for revenge. It was not a small matter. However, they were all dumbfounded when they received the virtual reality helmets. Even Yi Chen was dumbfounded. Did they need virtual reality helmets to fight? Sister, can you tell me what exactly happened? Yi Chen asked while looking as if he was doubting his life. Oh, my kill was stolen by two shameless guys in the game. They even killed me. Don't you think it's infuriating? It's infuriating. Yes, it's infuriating. Are you going to help me or not? At that moment, Yi Chen was between laughter and tears. However, he could only spoil his stubborn sister. What are you guys standing there for? Get ready to log into the game. Gather after choosing your class. Then, follow my sister to kill people. If you don't help my sister vent her anger, I'll teach you a lesson. Yi Chen glared and shouted at the people who were looking at each other. Relying on the huge advantage in numbers, Yi Shui led the revenge team to find and surround Wu Gui and Li Tianxia after her resurrection. She killed them. However, the two bosses in the gaming industry could not take it lying down. They gathered some of their employees and found a group of players who had been killed in the game. They formed a revenge team and began their revenge operation. The first large-scale player conflict in Battle Online began. During that period, the two parties became more and more powerful. They were in a killing frenzy. Chapter 16. The next day, Lu Wu, who was sleeping soundly, was woken up by the little lowly. She dragged him to the computer desk. What's wrong? Lu Wu rubbed his eyes and asked in confusion. Look at the game comments. Bei Li said with a serious face. Lu Wu turned his attention to the computer screen and was puzzled by the dense comments. However, his eyes widened when he saw the content. Yi Shui is the cutest. Collecting soul coins at 1,500. Also, the Guardian Angel Guild is recruiting. Watermelon_Taro. Collecting soul coins. Urgent need unlimited. Message me privately if you have soul coins. A_Mammoth. Li Tianxia, the Guardian Angel, is a trash guild that kills people indiscriminately. I strongly oppose it. Welcome to the Avengers. Peppa_Boar. Collecting soul coins. I want to kill all the idiots in the Guardian Angel. 1,600. Unlimited. Great Sword_Hand. Why doesn't the official website have a top-up channel? I want soul coins. Crayon_Shinchan. Collecting soul coins unlimited. Also, find teammates to complete growth quests. This netherworld force is too strong. I've been hammered to death 3 times. I'm about to cry. Strike_Soul. The Great Dragon Guild has reached 100 members. The Guild Master is about to reach level 20. He's preparing to establish the first guild in the game. All capable players are welcome. Invincible_Loneliness. I'm speechless. I can't collect soul coins at all. Where's the gold farming workshop? Are they hiding soul coins for the new year? Collect in bulk. The comments section of the game was in an uproar, and the number of comments was still increasing. Other than the war of words between Yi Shui's Guardian Angel and Wu Gui's Avengers, all the other players were collecting soul coins. Lu Wu scrolled through the comments and realized that the initial price of soul coins was 100. However, in just a few hours, the price had risen to 1,700 under the influence of Yi Shui. However, even at this price, a large number of players who wanted to spend money had nowhere to purchase them. I'm rich. Bei Li's eyes were shining. She was already fantasizing about having an endless supply of delicious food every day. Her mouth was glistening. Lu Wu was also very surprised. He knew that soul coins were scarce in this game, but he did not expect the players to be so excited. The influx of players over the past few days had not included the expenditure from completing quests. Lu Wu's soul coins were close to 10,000. If he sold these soul coins, he would have a huge sum of 7 million. Happiness came so suddenly that Lu Wu felt a little dizzy. However, after calming down and thinking about it, Lu Wu decided not to sell all the soul coins. Although it could speed up the improvement of the player's abilities, the soul coins were also very useful to him. According to Bei Li, if he wanted to rebuild the mansion of the dead of Beiki, he would need to spend at least 50,000 soul points. The amount of soul coins he had on him was just a drop in the bucket. However, he could still sell some for the time being to ease his financial constraints. After pondering for a while, Lu Wu decided to exchange 500 soul coins for money. Of course, he could not appear as an official. But before that, Lu Wu wanted to know what had happened. I haven't been paying attention to the game for one night. What happened in the game? Lu Wu asked curiously. Bailey, the GM who did not need to sleep and was always paying attention to the happenings in the game, was naturally aware of this. She chuckled and said, "While you were sleeping, two forces appeared in the game. One was the Guardian Angel Alliance formed by Yi Shui, and the other was the Avengers Alliance formed by Wu Gui. The two forces got into a fight because of the early stage of the game. They started fighting each other for the whole night. Now they are completely at each other's throats and will not stop until one of them is dead. Basically, when the two forces see the opposing alliance players in the wild, they will fight them without saying a word. Because of the competition between them, the soul coins that can quickly improve one's abilities have become an important strategic resource. Tycoons from both sides are buying them, which is why it has come to this." Lu Wu was stunned. He did not expect the players to start a civil war before the main quest had even started. However, Lu Wu did not want to stop this. This was a good thing for the game. It could stimulate the players' enthusiasm to become stronger and make the game more interesting. Lu Wu, quickly think of a way to sell some soul coins." Bei Li's pearl grabbed Lu Wu's arm and shook it. "Yes, but I can't appear as an official." "Then I'll appear as a player," Bei Li quickly added. Bei Li's idea was exactly what Lu Wu had in mind. After a discussion, Lu Wu put on the virtual reality helmet, selected the icon of Battle Online, and entered the game. When it was time to choose his class, Lu Wu chose the Sorcerer class. The Sorcerer class was relatively miserable in the early stages. Apart from the initial skill, Yin Energy Bullet, there were no decent damage skills at all. However, Lu Wu knew that this class had great potential. As for the class skills, Lu Wu and Bei Li had already started to design them. The prerequisite for the skills to appear was that Lu Wu had repaired the mansion of the dead in Beiki. According to Bei Li, the scripture pavilion in the Mansion of the Dead contained many spells and battle techniques from the underworld. As long as the Mansion of the Dead in Beiki was repaired, these techniques could naturally be recorded into the artifact. Then, a skill purchase column would be added to the shop, and the player's abilities would improve by leaps and bounds. Therefore, the Sorcerer class, which was relatively weak now, would definitely have the highest output among the other classes in the later stages. This was also the reason why the Sorcerer class had better equipment than the other classes. However, it would still take time to collect 50,000 soul coins. For the time being, the players could only rely on brute force to fight the initial battles. After choosing his class, Lu Wu, who was wearing a sackcloth and holding a pitch-black staff, officially logged into the game as a player. When he opened his backpack, Lu Wu found that the game master, Bailey, had already sent 500 soul coins to him. After taking a glance at the ruins of the Mansion of the Dead, Lu Wu started to walk outside, following Bei Li's instructions to look for a big client. Among the soul coins that he wanted to buy, Yi Shui was undoubtedly the one who needed the most, so Lu Wu's target was also her. As an authorized account, Lu Wu opened the map and saw a blinking purple dot. This was the current location of Yi Shui, which was indicated by Bailey. At this moment, Yi Shui was blocking the entrance of the Ghost Mountains with hundreds of people, planning to kill the players of the Avengers. After Lu Wu walked out of the beginner's area and made sure that there was no one around, he summoned Yin Energy Cloud and flew towards Yi Shui's location quickly. When he was about 100 meters away from Yi Shui, Lu Wu dispersed the Yin Energy Cloud in order to not attract attention and walked forward. As soon as Lu Wu arrived, hundreds of eyes were fixed on him. "Kid, are you from the Avengers?" A berserker blocked Lu Wu's way. "I'm looking for Yi Shui. I want to sell soul coins." "Looking for me?" Yi Shui. Uri's figure flashed, and she jumped down from the tree beside her, landing in front of Lu Wu. Looking at Yi Shui, who was already wearing half of her equipment with blue quality, Lu Wu smiled. I heard that you're collecting soul coins. I want to sell them. How many do you have? I want them all. Name your price. How about 700? This should be the market price now. All right. How much do you have? I want them all. Yi Shui agreed without hesitation. I have 500. Lu Wu smiled. What? Initially, Yi Shui thought that it was just a few soul coins, but when she heard 500, she almost thought that she heard it wrong. Chapter 17. How many soul coins did you say you had? Yi Shui asked in disbelief. 500 soul coins. If you can afford it, I can sell them all to you. Lu Wu said with a smile. Looking at Yi Shui's doubtful face, Lu Wu took a step forward and opened the trade window. He placed the 500 soul coins on it and then canceled the trade. You believe me now, right? Yi Shui was shocked when she saw the 500 soul coins in the cash column. One had to know that she had only earned about 60 soul coins from killing monsters. However, the guy in front of her with his beginner equipment had 500 soul coins. How could she not be shocked? Yes, I want all of them. Yi Shui said decisively. Sure, let's go to the trade website. There's a guarantee there. No need. Tell me your account number, and I'll transfer the money to you now. Lu Wu was surprised when he heard this. After all, this was not a small trade. 500 soul coins were worth 350,000 soul coins. However, since Yi Shui trusted him, Lu Wu did not mind and told her his bank account number. Ben, go and transfer the money to him. Yi Shui shouted at the girl beside her. The girl who was called Ben nodded and disappeared on the spot. After a while, the girl appeared again. Shui, I've transferred the money. Yi Shui nodded. The money has been transferred. Go and have a look. Lu Wu shook his head. Since you trust me, I trust you too. Let's trade. Lu Wu opened the trade window and transferred the 500 soul coins to her. It was 350,000 soul coins. Of course, Lu Wu did not just trust her. Bai Li told him that the money had been transferred to his account. He was pretending to be carefree. After receiving the soul coins, Yi Shui opened the shop happily. She chose a red quality dress that cost 400 soul coins and put it on. Suddenly, a colorful light flashed on Yi Shui's body, and a gorgeous dress was draped over her body. Seeing that Lu Wu was about to leave, Yi Shui stopped him. Is there anything else? How did you get these soul coins? Hidden mission? Yi Shui was curious. Oh, it's the soul collector mission. I was lucky. I wandered around and found 5 beginner souls. I sold them all to the shop. Everyone was speechless. Initially, Yi Shui wanted to ask where she could trigger such a hidden mission, but Lu Wu's words left her completely speechless. His luck was truly heaven-defying. If there's nothing else, I'll be leaving. I still want to walk around and see if I can pick up a few more. Lu Wu's words silenced the crowd again. After Lu Wu left, Yi Shui turned around and asked the crowd, "Have any of you picked up that thing?" Everyone shook their heads. Just then, a man hurriedly ran over from the ghost mountains, looking very flustered. "Sister Shui, we've been ambushed." Upon hearing this, Yi Shui's expression froze. The Avengers again? No, it was an NPC in the game. Yi Shui was stunned. Tell me in detail. What happened? Just now, our 10-man team was searching for Avengers players in the Ghost Mountains. In the end, we encountered a group of ghost soldiers riding on wolves. They were wearing armor, and their eyes were burning with flames. They looked terrifying. When they saw the 10 of us, they asked which ghost general we were working for. What did you say after that? I said that we were the descendants of the king of Baiki. Then they chased after us and killed us all. I was the only one who was lucky enough to escape by falling into a hole in the ground." Upon hearing this, Yi Shui suddenly recalled the plot at the beginning of the game. It seemed that the ghost kings and ghost generals under the king of Beiki had all betrayed them. With this in mind, Yi Shui understood why these people were chased after they announced that they were the descendants of the king of Beiki. "Brothers, let's enter the ghost mountains and kill the traitors," Yi Shui said coldly. After watching the opening cinematic, Yi Shui hated these traitors very much. After all, the king of Beiki had sacrificed himself for the hundreds of millions of lives in the land of Beiki. Not only were they not grateful, but they even dared to betray him. This was unforgivable in Yi Shui's eyes. Moreover, Yi Shui thought that she might be able to find a hidden quest from these ghost soldiers. Then, the majestic team of 100 people marched into the ghost mountains. After exiting the game, Lu immediately picked up his phone to check the bank's reply. "Your account ending with 6,573 has received 350,000 yuan, and the current balance is 351,236 yuan. Delicious food! Delicious food!" Bei Li also shouted with her eyes shining. This money was so easy to earn. Looking at the soul coins that were still increasing, Lu Wu felt elated. To celebrate the arrival of his first pot of gold, Lu Wu brought Bei Li to the best hotel near his house to have a good meal. At the same time, he bought a lot of snacks for the foodie Bei Li. This made the easily satisfied Bei Li so happy that her eyes turned into crescent moons. When he returned home, the sky was already dark. Lu Wu sat in front of the computer and first opened the homepage of Platform 173 to check the voting ranking of the games. Just as he expected, Battle Online was still far ahead. The number of players was still increasing and had already reached 80,000. Now, Lu Wu needed to think about how to collect 50,000 soul coins as soon as possible so that he could unlock the functions of his skills. Actually, many players still had soul coins with them. How to stimulate their spending was also a problem that needed to be considered. This made Lu Wu wonder if he should start a war against the ghost General Cha Na in the east. As long as there was a war, the spending would naturally increase. However, Lu Wu shook his head and rejected his idea. First of all, the number of players had increased, but they were still not strong enough. If 80,000 players were to really fight, they would definitely not be able to defeat Cha Na, who had 100,000 ghost soldiers. Continuous failures would easily destroy the confidence of the players, which would be detrimental to the gaming experience. After some thought, Lu Wu had an idea. Then he used the artifact to set a mission for the players who had reached level 15. Exploration mission. Head to the east of the Mansion of the Dead and explore the territory of the ghost General Cha Na. The reward for the mission depends on the exploration area. The difficulty of this mission was undoubtedly very high. Currently, the strongest player among the players was only at the level of an ordinary ghost soldier. However, the unique characteristic of the players was that they could not die. Using the players to explore the strength of Cha Na's ghost army was the best option. Then Bei Li would monitor the player's situation and give him feedback. Once he had a clear understanding of the situation, Lu Wu could then come up with a strategy on how to attack. An hour after the mission was released in the game, many players began to advance along the road to the east of the Mansion of the Dead, ready to explore. Just when Lu Wu was feeling proud of his decision, a server notification suddenly appeared. Congratulations to Chen Ziyu for establishing the first guild, the Great Dragon Guild. You are recruiting heroes from all over the world to build the glory of Beiki. Chapter 18. Lu Wu was surprised that the first guild appeared so quickly. He did not expect Chen Ziyu's first batch of players to reach level 20 so quickly. He closed his eyes and looked at the underworld. He saw a large group of players surrounding the Mansion of the Dead in the underworld. Standing in the middle of the group were Chen Ziyu and the NPC, Luomo. Chen Ziyu was excited. In order to establish the first guild, his brothers had been leveling up in the Ghost Mountains day and night. In the end, they had pooled together 50 soul coins to successfully establish the guild. After the guild was established, there was an additional guild option in his function bar. As long as they were in the same guild, they could see the location of other guild players. At the same time, there was also a guild chat bar, which was undoubtedly a great help for them when they wanted to form a team. Big brother, are you recruiting? Big brother, please take me. I don't have any other skills, but I'm good at spending money. Requesting to join the guild, please. A group of new players surrounded Chunziu, wanting to join the guild for protection. Chunziu smiled as he looked at the information of the players who were applying. He only accepted players who were above level 10. After spending about an hour to check the information, Chunziu turned to look at the NPC Lu Mo, who had a calm expression and an otherworldly temperament. Big brother Lu, how much do you know about the ghost General Chana, who is occupying the east of Beiki? Hearing Chunziu mention the ghost General Chana, Lu Mo's expression was filled with hatred. My godfather nurtured Chana, but he chose to betray him for his own benefit. I can't wait to kill him with my own hands. Chunziu felt that Lu Mo, who was always wandering around the mansion of the dead, was more like a person with flesh and blood and feelings than an NPC. Big brother Lu, we will definitely take revenge. Do you know the specific situation in the east? I want to go and check it out first. Lu Mo looked at Chunziu and sighed. The ghost General Cha Na has 100,000 ghost soldiers and is very powerful. He occupies the Lioli area in the east near the underworld sea. If you want to investigate, you must pay attention to your own safety. Don't show off. Chen Zhu nodded solemnly, then sent a voice message in the guild channel. All members of the Great Dragon Club above level 15. Gather near the Mansion of the Dead after dinner and prepare for the exploration mission. Wang, Damong, let's go together so we can take care of each other. I hope we can kill a few Cha-Cha's ghost soldiers on the way. Smiley face, Shwelly, let's go. I'll have 3 pieces of blue equipment once I finish the mission. Wang Chao, for the glory of the King of Beiki. Seeing the reply in the guild chat, Chunziu smiled faintly and chose to go offline. He planned to quickly finish his dinner and organize the guild to start the first group quest. After Chunziu left, Lu Mo was still surrounded by many people. Most of them were female players. They were completely attracted by Lu Mo's appearance and kept pestering him to chat. In the past few days, Lu Mo had accumulated a lot of popularity among female players. Moreover, many memories of the land of Beiki were implanted in Lu Mo's memory. It could be said that he was a qualified village chief of a novice village, helping many players solve many problems. In order to enrich the player's gaming experience, Lu Wu had created the second NPC. His name was the Mysterious Merchant. This NPC was set to be a lucky merchant wandering the land of Beiki. Players who found him could purchase rare items that were not available in the shop. After taking a look at the players' daily lives, Lu Wu shifted the god view to Yishue, who had just bought the soul coins. As the ghost mountains appeared in front of him, Lu Wu's gaze suddenly froze. In the depths of the dense forest, there was a team of ghost soldiers riding on wolves. From the clothes of these ghost soldiers, Lu Wu was reminded of the ghost wolf cavalry of the Chana army that Bei Li had introduced to him. At this time, in a dense forest in the ghost mountains, Yishue, and a team of 100 people were constantly attacking the ghost wolf cavalry. However, there was an obvious gap in individual strength, causing the players to be killed continuously. However, this did not scare the players away. Under Yishue's command, the players charged forward again and again like madmen, scattering the ghost wolf cavalry. Kill all these Beiki traitors. Following Yishue's angry shout, the players of the Guardian Angel charged again, surrounding the ghost wolf cavalry in the middle and slashing them. Finally, under the crazy attack of the players, a few of the ghost wolf cavalry could not take it anymore and fell from the wolf's back. However, they were greeted by the merciless slashes of the players, killing them on the spot. They're escaping. Surround them. Don't let any of them go. Seeing that the ghost wolf cavalry did not intend to continue the battle and was about to leave, the players naturally did not want to let them go. After all, they had sacrificed many of their brothers to kill these ghost wolf cavalry. Suddenly, the crowd formed a circle, trapping the ghost wolf cavalry on the spot. Following the roar of the giant wolves, the players kept shrinking the circle, and the few ghost wolf cavalry were horrified. They could not understand why there were so many strange ghosts here, and these ghosts all called themselves the descendants of the king of Baki. After the death of the king of Baki, all of his subordinates should have betrayed him. However, the appearance of these people was a little strange. Don't let any of them go. Kill. Following Yi Shui's shout, the players quickly shrank the circle. The berserker at the front directly used his body to block the slashes of the ghost wolf cavalry. Even if he died, he still wanted to slash the ghost wolf cavalry. Under such a crazy attack, the team of ghost wolf cavalry finally could not take it anymore. After the last ghost wolf cavalry was killed by Yi Shui, the whole team of ghost wolf cavalry was annihilated. Wow, awesome! 666, we finally killed these traitors. Boss Shui is amazing. The players cheered, and Yi Shui also smiled proudly. Hey, these ghost soldiers, drop something. At this time, the bodies of the ghost wolf cavalry were disintegrated by the artifact, leaving behind the armor and weapons they were wearing. Wow! Level 10 white armor and level 10 blue equipment broadsword. Seeing that the dropped items could be worn, the crowd was in an uproar. They all rushed forward to pick them up. Yi Shui did not stop them because she knew that these were what the players deserved. Moreover, she already had level 10 red armor. Why would she care about these ordinary goods? After the distribution, Yi Shui faced the crowd and waved her dagger heroically. Brothers, let's go for dinner. Brothers, let's go eat dinner. After dinner, we'll set off for East Liuli and look for ghost soldier traitors to kill. When the time comes, we'll all get a blue weapon. When I reach level 20, I'll establish a guild. We want to become the #1 guild in this game. Yes, the players below shouted in unison. Hearing this, Yi Shui smiled happily. Chapter 19. At around 8:00 at night, Chen Ziu began to organize the members through the guild's live chat. Soon, close to 200 strong players who had reached level 15 gathered near the Mansion of the Dead. Let's go! Following Chen Ziu's order, the 200-man team began to advance toward the east. The Liuli district in the east was not too far away from the Mansion of the Dead. Since the players' physical attributes had been enhanced, it was easy for them to travel. At the same time, if they encountered any wandering souls or other underworld creatures along the way, the team would kill them. They were ferocious, and their target was the ghost General Chana. According to the map, the players of the Great Dragon Guild spent more than half an hour to reach the border between Liuli District and the Mansion of the Dead. As they stepped into the Liuli District, the players were shocked to find that the color of the sky was much brighter. The blood rain that had been falling had disappeared. The stones on the ground were colorful, and there were snowflakes floating in the air. It was completely different from the Mansion of the Dead. While the players were surprised by the design of the scenery, they began to be cautious. This was because they knew that this was the territory of the ghost General Chana. Although there were 200 of them, they were prepared to risk their lives to explore this place. After all, they knew from Luemo that Chana had 100,000 evil ghost soldiers under his command. Let's go. Be careful. Remind each other if you find anything unusual. Chen Ziu waved his hand, and the team continued to explore. As they moved forward, the players realized that the ghosts in Liuli District were not in human form. Instead, they were in the form of animals. However, they were very ferocious. They encountered a pack of wolves a few times, and it took the players a lot of effort to kill them. After advancing another 1,000 meters and climbing a slope, the players' field of vision suddenly widened. Suddenly, Chun Ziyu gestured for everyone to lie down. At the bottom of the slope, a ghost camp appeared in their field of vision. Be careful, don't get discovered. This camp is not small, Chun Ziyu said through the guild's live chat. Upon hearing this, everyone slowly poked their heads out and began to observe the situation in the camp. Zombie wolves with green flames in their eyes were wandering around the camp, while a large number of ghost soldiers were busy moving something. There are about 2,000 of them. It should be an outpost. However, there are too many ghost soldiers for us to handle. Let's change our direction and continue moving forward. Seeing so many ghost soldiers, Chun Ziyu was secretly shocked. Just as he was about to lead his brothers to another direction and take a detour, a zombie wolf that was relatively close to them twitched its nose twice. Its fiery eyes fiercely stared at the hillside where Chun Ziyu and the others were. Howl! As the wolf howl sounded, countless ghost soldiers raised their heads and looked in the direction of Chun Ziyu and the others, who were peeking out to observe the situation. Stupid dog, call me uncle! Seeing that they had been discovered, Wang Damong was furious at the zombie wolf. He picked up a stone from the ground and threw it at the zombie wolf, smashing it in the face. Wang Damong wanted to continue smashing the wall, but Chun Ziyu pulled him back. Damong, don't be stubborn. They're coming. Run. Wang Damong looked to the front and saw countless ghost soldiers leaping onto the zombie wolves and gathering together. It was obvious that they were preparing to encircle and annihilate them. Brothers, run. Following Chun Ziyu's order, the players quickly turned around and ran in the direction where they came from. Meanwhile, the ghost soldiers in the camp had quickly gathered together. Following the roar of the Ghost Supreme Commander, they majestically ran in the direction where Chun Ziyu and the others had escaped. In terms of speed, the ghost soldiers riding on zombie wolves were obviously much faster than the players. Along with the billowing dust, they were getting closer and closer to the players. Their eyes that were burning with green flames were glowing with a bloodthirsty light. As a ghost, they were eager to kill. Fuck! I'm not running anymore. Let's fight with these traitors. It's no big deal. At this moment, Wang Damong shouted angrily and rushed towards the ghost wolf riders. Fuck, let's fight. Let's fight. What's there to be afraid of? I'll still be a good man after 3 hours. Knowing that he could not escape, Chun Ziyu showed a fierce expression and turned towards the ghost rider army. Brothers, let's kill. Following Chun Ziyu's shout, the players collectively stopped and turned towards the ghost rider army. Let's go. Kill one and kill two. Kill. The Ghost Rider army was shocked when the players turned back to attack. They could not understand why they did not run anymore. Did they not want to live anymore? Boom! The players and the Ghost Rider army collided head-on. Suddenly, the situation became chaotic. The battle broke out in an instant. All the players here were above level 10. They could still fight against the Ghost Rider army. However, they were at a disadvantage in terms of numbers. A large number of players were directly killed in this wave of attack. However, the players' ruthlessness also shocked the Ghost Rider army. They could not understand why these creatures were so crazy. Their fighting style was as if they did not care about their own lives. They did not even defend themselves. They just kept stabbing at the players. Looking at his teammates who were falling one after another, Chun Ziyu's eyes were red. He turned his body sideways and picked off a ghost wolf rider. Then he took a step forward and ruthlessly smashed its head with his sword. Not far away from the battle, Yi Shui looked at the billowing dust in confusion. What's happening in front? Sister Shui, it seems like a battle has broken out. Yi Shui was curious. She waved her hand, and the team quickened their pace. Yi Shui's face darkened when she saw the two sides of the battle. Sister Shui, it's the players and the Ghost Rider army fighting. Should we help? Nonsense. Brothers, charge. Kill all the traitors of Beiki. The team of hundreds of people followed Yi Shui, Er's footsteps, and rushed toward the battle scene aggressively. Boss, we have backup. Chen Ziyu turned his head and looked. He immediately saw Yi Shui, and the others who were leading the team. Brothers, thank you for your help. Chen Ziyu shouted loudly and slashed a Ghost Rider army to the ground. You're welcome, Yi Shui replied loudly. Then she turned her body sideways and rushed into the Ghost Rider army. The addition of this team of 100 people reduced the pressure on the Great Dragon Guild. However, they were still at a great disadvantage when facing the powerful Ghost Rider army. Just when everyone was forced into a desperate situation, another team came from the side and crashed into the waist of the Ghost Rider army. The Avengers Alliance is here to help. Brothers, follow me and kill. Following Wu Guoyi's shout, another team of 100 people appeared and joined the battle. The confrontation between the four forces made the scene even more chaotic. Wu Guoyi even coincidentally met Yi Shui, who was killing the Ghost Wolf Riders during the battle. Let's kill the enemies first. We'll settle our scores later, Wu Guoyi said. Agreed, Yi Shui replied coldly. The two alliances let go of their hatred at the same time and decided to unite against the enemy at this moment. Chapter 20. Facing the ferocious Ghost Wolf Cavalry. The players let go of their grudges temporarily and became a team. Although they were still outnumbered by the Ghost Wolf Cavalry, they were not afraid at all. Along with the battle cry, the players pounced on the Ghost Wolf Cavalry again. It's a glorious death. Kill the traitors of Beiki. Yi Shui, Er's gaze was fixed on the Ghost Supreme Commander, who was wearing a heavy armor and riding on a burning war horse. She leaped into the air and charged towards it. Facing Yi Shui, who was dashing towards him, the Ghost Supreme Commander showed a disdainful smile. He reached out his hand and grabbed the giant sword on his back. Die. As Yi Shui, Er's figure appeared, the sword suddenly danced and a sword energy shot out. Yi Shui was hit in the face, and the scene in front of her started to turn dark. You have been killed by the Ghost Supreme Commander. 3 hours of resurrection cooldown. Shui, his sister was killed. Yi Chen, who was surrounded, was furious. He roared and dashed towards the Ghost Supreme Commander. Seeing that Yi Chen was dashing towards him, the brothers around him surrounded him and helped him to kill. Kill the leader first. Brothers, it's okay if you die, but let's kill the Ghost Supreme Commander. Chen Ziyu also roared when he saw this. The team quickly changed their direction and followed Yi Chen to where the Ghost Supreme Commander was. The three forces had reached a consensus at this moment. They would drag the Ghost Supreme Commander down with them, even if they had to die. They all dashed towards the Ghost Supreme Commander, like crazy. During the battle, many players who did not buy weapons from the shop kept using their beginner weapons and broke them. However, they still looked determined. Some of them picked up the stones on the ground and even fought with their bare hands. The Ghost Wolf Cavalry was dumbfounded at this crazy battle. It was the first time they encountered such a crazy battle after so many battles. Along with the continuous deaths of the players, the Ghost Wolf Cavalry also lost a lot of combatants. The battle was so fierce that even the Ghost Supreme Commander could not help but be moved. As the players fought with all their might, a path towards the Ghost Supreme Commander was carved out. However, the Ghost Supreme Commander did not retreat when he saw the players rushing towards him. Instead, he swung his sword and slashed forward. A black sword energy swept across, and many of the players fell to the ground. So strong! Seeing the Ghost Supreme Commander's power, Chen Ziyu's face turned gloomy. Let's kill him. Don't care about the other ghost cavalries. Just kill this commander. Wu Guai roared and took the lead to rush towards the Ghost Supreme Commander. The Ghost Supreme Commander's green pupil shrunk as he was surrounded by hundreds of players. He then swung his sword a few times in front of him, killing another group of players. However, the players would not be scared off. They roared and continued to charge towards the Ghost Supreme Commander. Under such circumstances, the Ghost Supreme Commander finally couldn't stop the crazy players from approaching him and was surrounded in the center. A series of clattering sounds of slashing could be heard. Some players who had lost their weapons even wanted to climb onto their magic colts and use their teeth to tear the demon commander apart. Although the players' attacks were violent, they were facing a boss-level monster with a huge difference in strength. In the angry eyes of the demon commander, a circle of green fluorescence appeared on his body. Roar! Following the Ghost Supreme Commander's roar, the green light suddenly spread and sent all the players around him flying away. At this moment, the Ghost Supreme Commander went berserk. He raised his sword fiercely, and the sword rays crisscrossed, killing all the players around him. At the same time, the magic colt under his feet also raised its front hooves and stomped on the ground. Suddenly, the ground shook and many players lost their balance and fell to the ground. The ghost wolf cavalries around them also seized the opportunity and rushed into the players' camp, slaughtering them. A large number of players died and went into the cool-down period of resurrection. When there was only one player left, the Ghost Supreme Commander waved his hand and the ghost wolf cavalries stopped attacking. Riding on the magic colt, the Ghost Supreme Commander's tall figure appeared in front of Wang Damong and looked down at him. "Tell me where you came from." "I'll tell you my ass. You're just a bunch of traitors. Do you think I'm afraid of you?" Wang Damong kicked the magic colt's front leg and took a step back. "I can spare your life, as long as you tell me why you're here." The Ghost Supreme Commander stared at Wang Damong coldly and asked again. "I'm the descendant of the King of Beiki. As for why I'm here, of course it's to chop off your head." Wang Dameng's answer made the Ghost Supreme Commander's eyes even colder. The King of Beiki is already dead. How could he have a descendant? How dare you lie to me? Hearing this, Wang Damong did not want to waste any more time. He took a step forward and suddenly leaped up, slashing the Ghost Supreme Commander's head with the dagger in his hand. Clang! The attack landed on the Ghost Supreme Commander's helmet, but he only bent his head slightly and was not affected at all. Under Wang Dameng's shocked gaze, the Ghost Supreme Commander grabbed his neck with his right hand when Wang Dameng's body was falling. "This is your last chance. 3 hours later, I'll be a good man again. Do you think I'm afraid of you?" Wang Damong struggled and lifted his leg to kick the Ghost Supreme Commander's chest. Crack! This time the Ghost Supreme Commander did not give him any chance and directly broke his neck. Lu Wu, who was watching the whole battle, exited the god perspective after seeing Wang Dameng's death. In this battle, Lu Wu realized that he had underestimated the power of the Ghost General Chana. This was only the Ghost Supreme Commander, but he was already able to defeat the strongest group of players. If it was the strongest Ghost General Chana, would he be able to kill all the players by himself? It seemed like the players had to continue to develop. He would not consider taking down Liuli in the east for the time being. After thinking for a while, Lu Wu opened the website of Platform 173 and clicked on the comments section of Battle Online. "Peppa Boar, I'm so pissed off. This Ghost Supreme Commander is too tough. Even a few hundred people couldn't defeat him. I can't take this lying down. The Great Dragon Guild will continue to recruit people. I'm going to take revenge in a few days. Strike your soul. The Great Dragon Guild is recruiting people. Our guild has found the ghost trader. We need a lot of combatants. Yi Swearer is the cutest. The Guardian Angel is recruiting people. We swear to kill the Beiki trader. Our guild has benefits for strong players. We can provide equipment support. When the bright moon appears. This battle is so exciting. I feel like my soul is burning. Who has soul coins? Buy some at a higher price. Prepare to activate pay-to-win mode. Invincible loneliness. Soul coins at a price of 1,800. Don't hide it. It's the highest price in history. There's no limit. Crayon_Shinchan. Awesome. At least I got to touch the Ghost Supreme Commander's dog head. It feels so good. After the battle, the players who had entered the cooldown and resurrection period exploded in the comment section. Not only did the price of soul coins keep increasing, but the 3 major guilds also started to recruit strong players. Many players who did not know about the battle were asking about the details of the battle in the comment section. The number of comments was increasing by more than 100 every second. Chapter 21. It was supposed to be an investigation mission, but it was turned into a direct confrontation by the 3 major player alliances. This battle made the players realize how powerful the Ghost General Chana was. After this incident, the players became much more united and PKs in the wild decreased. The reason was simple. The leaders of the 3 major alliances, who were the most powerful players at the current stage, had a conversation. This battle had undoubtedly made them feel aggrieved. After this battle, they decided to give up the fight temporarily and decided to join forces to uproot the Ghost General camp at the front line of Liuli district. Peaceful development had brought about overcrowding in the Ghost Mountains. A large number of players gathered there to hunt and improve their strength. Fortunately, there was a special field in the Ghost Mountains. Ghost-like creatures were constantly born, which was equivalent to a respawn in the game, so the players would not run out of monsters to kill. As they went deeper into the Ghost Mountains, all kinds of more powerful creatures, such as vengeful ghosts, ferocious ghosts, and white-haired zombies appeared, which made the players suffer. At the same time, the rise of Battle Online attracted a large number of gold farming studios. After all, the price of soul coins was 1,800, which was very tempting. However, what made the gold farming studios dumbfounded was that they could not open the game multiple times. They could not even lend their accounts to others. No matter how hard they tried, they could not crack the game. Lu Wu even saw merchants in the game's black market offering a high price for a cracking software, hoping to open more games in Battle Online. Many internet hackers tried their best to study it, but the results were obviously different. The game still had 0 cheats and 0 merchants. Such an outstanding record made Battle Online popular again. Lu Wu was naturally confident about this. After all, Battle Online was a game that was bound to 1 soul. How could cheats exist unless the players had 2 souls? At the same time, Lu Wu and Bei Li went to the underworld again after taking suggestions from the players in the comments. With the help of Bei Li, the all-around assistant, the helmet was connected to the server, which solved the problem of recording videos in the game. The appearance of this function was also beneficial to the promotion of the game. The players uploaded their videos to various video portals, which undoubtedly increased the exposure of the game. The number of players also increased day by day, reaching a scale of 150,000. Therefore, there were many technical players. There were 3 technical players who caught Lu Wu's attention in the forum. One of them, Na Lan Lan, drew a map of the distribution of monsters in each area of the Ghost Mountains and marked the weaknesses of each monster. It could be said that this map solved a lot of problems for new players. There was also a player named Dwarf King who displayed the map he explored in the forum, specially set up for Battle Online on Platform 173 after the new recording function was activated. According to the Dwarf King, he did not fight monsters when he entered the game. Instead, he explored the underworld with the mindset of a tourist. What surprised him was that none of the scenes in the game were repetitive, and all of them were incredibly realistic. He had only explored a small part of the land of Beiki for 7 days, but it was still a feast for his eyes. At the same time, his map also allowed the players to know what was outside of the Mansion of the Dead. In the Dwarf King's map, the fog around Underworld had completely disappeared, revealing 4 fields. They were the Ghost Mountain that players were most familiar with, the Langia Scorched Lands to the west, and the Cliffs of Desperation and Forest of Death further ahead. According to the Dwarf King's description, there were strange monsters in these areas. Fortunately, he was wretched enough to travel so far. Unfortunately, he was still swallowed by a giant flying serpent in the Forest of Death. The players were amazed by the Dwarf King's pictures of the game. It turned out that the world was so big and there were so many strange and dazzling worlds. However, the Dwarf King reminded the players at the end of the post that adventuring required strength. In order to explore the underworld, he decided to level up and start his journey as an adventurer again. The Dwarf King's post was at the top of the discussion section of Battle Online for a long time, attracting the attention of many players. At the same time, it also aroused the desire of many players to become stronger. The last player was called One Punch, One Kick. According to him, he was once a firefighter and had lost an arm and a leg during a disaster relief mission. This incident was a huge blow to him, causing him to be unable to recover from it. He had even considered suicide because of this. He was lucky enough to survive and started to resent life. He hated the unfair life and lived in despair. After a few twists and turns, he came into contact with games and started to numb his life with virtual reality. At least in the game, he was a complete person. However, everything still felt fake to him, as if it was a prosthetic limb. However, he accidentally came into contact with Battle Online. After experiencing it, he was surprised to think that his limbs had returned. This completely real feeling made his eyes brim with tears. This was the first time he felt that his lost limbs were real again. At the end of the post, One Punch, One Kick expressed his sincere gratitude to the developers of the game. The post of One Punch, One Kick touched many players. However, it also made people pay attention to the terrifying degree of realism of Battle Online. It could actually allow a disabled person to have the sense of touch of his lost limbs. At the end of the post, other than consolation for many players, there were also players who expressed their gratitude. This was because they had found someone who had the same painful experience as them. They now had a place to regain their complete selves. This time, Battle Online gained more loyal fans. Many players spontaneously requested to top up their accounts in the forum, hoping that the operator of Battle Online would open up a top-up channel as soon as possible to enhance their gaming experience. Wu Gui even gave Lu Wu a call because of this. Lu Wu was helpless about this. Soul coins were not even enough to build the Mansion of the Dead. If the top-up channel was opened up, he estimated that the 20,000 soul coins he had would be emptied in a matter of seconds. Therefore, Lu Wu could only use the excuse that the game was still in development and that free games could better develop the game and reduce the gap between players. Battle Online was getting more and more popular day by day, and Lu Wu was feeling the pressure. Although the experience of the game was perfect, it was not rich enough. He had to design more interesting gameplay as soon as possible. After reading through the suggestions of countless players, Lu Wu's idea of the gameplay of Battle Online became more perfect. First of all, this game did not have to be a combat game. It could be completely unrestricted. For example, in the future, if the ghost General Cha Na's Liuli district was conquered, players who like to fish could totally fish in the underworld sea beside Liuli district. According to Bei Li, there were many rare fishes in the underworld sea that could even strengthen the soul. Other than selling it to the shop, players could also increase their strength by consuming it themselves. Another example would be the territory of the Rock Ghost King at the bottom of the Cliffs of Desperation. There were many dark and murky places in that area, which was a good place to cultivate new spiritual creatures. If the area was conquered, the players could also unlock the function of raising pets. They could even cultivate battle pets that could help in battles. It could be said that the underworld was full of infinite possibilities. As long as the player's imagination reached, they could develop it into a game for fun. Chapter 22. At the border between Liuli District and the Mansion of the Dead. The Ghost Supreme Commander was staring coldly at the players who were provoking them. He had no idea why there were these strange creatures who claimed to be the descendants of the King of Beiki in the Mansion of the Dead. What surprised him the most was that there were many familiar faces that he had killed before. During this period of time, his campsite had been harassed by this force more than 100 times. Ever since that battle, these people who claimed to be players never fought with them face to face. Instead, they formed small teams and kept provoking them near the campsite. Initially, he thought that after a few rounds of bloody cleansing, these weak existences would be scared. However, it was the exact opposite. Instead, the harassment became more and more intense. This undoubtedly provoked the Ghost Supreme Commander. This time, he brought all his subordinates to the Mansion of the Dead to see what was going on. When the army crossed the border, the sunny sky became gloomy. This reminded the Ghost Supreme Commander of the King of Baki, who had terrorized the land of Baki for thousands of years. He could not help but shiver. Kill them all. The Ghost Supreme Commander suppressed the fear in his heart and said coldly as he raised his sword and pointed at the players in the distance. Suddenly, thousands of ghost cavalry started waving their weapons and rushed toward the players who were still provoking them. You're really something. These traitors can't take it anymore and are rushing over. Yi Shua said in surprise as she looked at Wu Gui, who was also observing the situation. Of course. Haven't you heard that the older the wiser? Let's continue to lure them in. I've already asked someone to spread the news on the forum. By then, we have more than 100,000 players. Why would we be afraid of these few thousand ghost clan bastards? Wu Gui said proudly. Meanwhile, Lu Wu was also paying attention to the annihilation battle that was organized by the players. Just 3 hours ago, the 3 major alliances and countless small groups of players had reached a consensus on the forum. They were ready to completely annihilate the Ghost Supreme Commander. Moreover, the post about this annihilation battle was pinned at the top of the forum. Countless players were paying attention to it. Perhaps even the initiator, Wu Gui, did not expect that the mission would go so smoothly. The Ghost Supreme Commander actually led his people and was ready to annihilate them. The 100-men teams that were sent to provoke were quickly caught up by the Ghost Supreme Commander's army. They were annihilated without much resistance. Looking at the Mansion of the Dead that was covered in dark clouds, the Ghost Supreme Commander waved his sword and said, "Let's go to the Mansion of the Dead of Baki." Suddenly, a cloud of smoke and dust billowed. Thousands of giant wolves carrying the ghost soldiers began to run towards the Mansion of the Dead that had already been reduced to ruins. Along the way, the Ghost Rider army continuously encountered solo players. These players were all tragically cut down, causing the Ghost Rider army to become even more arrogant. No matter how many of these weak creatures there were, they couldn't even withstand a single blow. However, when the Ghost Riders arrived at the Mansion of the Underworld, the entire army was dumbfounded. They could not see the end of the Mansion of the Dead as a dense crowd of players stared at them. What are these things? Why are there so many of them? The Ghost Supreme Commander could be said to be very familiar with this area. However, he could not understand why so many new creatures had appeared here in just a few months after he left. Retreat! Facing such a huge group of players, the Ghost Supreme Commander's scalp went numb. He did not plan to continue fighting. Even if he could defeat them, he would have to pay a huge price. However, there was no way the players who had been prepared for this would let them leave just like that. Heads popped out from behind and quickly gathered, forming another human barrier behind them. This scene was broadcasted live on the forum by the players through the virtual reality helmets. The players who sacrificed themselves for this could also see it. Countless people were paying attention to this counterattack. Peppa Boar. Awesome, I didn't die in vain. Brothers, kill all the traitors. Invincible loneliness. 10,000 bounty on the player who killed the Ghost Supreme scum. Keep it up. Wooden Man. It's been so many days, it's time for revenge. I won't say anything else, just win. Big-faced cat. Tremble in fear under the evil forces of the players. Foolish traitors of the ghost race. Countless players commented below the live stream. At this moment, the battle was about to break out. This time, the Ghost Supreme Commander was really shocked. Facing such a huge group of players, he could only choose to retreat. But he did not expect that his back would be blocked as well. In order to create an exit, the Ghost Supreme Commander waved his hand, and the army immediately changed their direction to attack the players at the back. Stop them. Kill them. Use your lives to fill the gap. Even if your corpses crush you, you'll be crushed to death. A player roared angrily. Suddenly, the army of players also moved. The huge group of players surrounded the Ghost Supreme Commander from all directions and charged at him. Although most of the players' levels were not high, and some of them could even be killed in one hit, the players' desire to fight had increased. They attacked in a suicidal manner like crazy, and in just a short while, the entire Ghost Rider army was dispersed. It was not scary to fight 1 against 10, but it was scary to fight 1 against tens or hundreds of people. The players' fighting style did not have any formation, no command, and no skills. It was just reckless. They relied on the advantage of the number of people to attack continuously, one after the other, and it was endless. To the ghost race, although they were bloodthirsty and cruel, they were also afraid of dying again. However, the players were the exact opposite. Death was a common occurrence for the players. Apart from the depressing 3-hour cooldown time, they were not afraid of death at all. They were really using their lives to fill the gap. This scene also made the players who were watching the live stream on the forum excited. Kick his crotch. Yes, 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 that's the kind of heavy blow. Brother, your left, F asterisk CK, if you don't listen to me, just die. Left hook, right hook, straight punch, side kick, F asterisk CK. Brother, your fighting skills are too bad. Brother, you're so cruel, you even came to bite people. I respect you for being a real man. I'll remember your ID. Don't mess with you in the future. A group of onlookers were giving guidance to the battle from the sidelines. More and more players who died and quit joined the onlookers. It was lively both inside and outside the game. Different from the players, the Ghost Supreme Commander looked gloomy at the moment. Although there were a lot of players dying every time he attacked, there were too many of them. So many that even the Ghost Supreme Commander found it difficult to deal with them. At this moment, the Ghost Supreme Commander suddenly felt his mount shake violently, and he almost flew off. He immediately turned around and saw a figure holding a big sword and stabbing the butt of his demonic colt. Outside the arena, ha ha ha, 666, a fatal blow, full score. I remember this brother is the boss of the Great Dragon Guild. His name is Chun Ziyu. Good job. Using a big sword to perform the 1,000 years kill. It seems to be quite powerful, exciting. Brother, you're really talented. This will definitely be a critical blow. Feeling the trembling, demonic colt, the anger in the Ghost Supreme Commander's eyes seemed like it was about to burst out. He swung his sword to the back, trying to kill Chinziyu. At this moment, a figure rushed over from the side and pushed Chinziyu away, taking the fatal blow himself. Boss, avenge me. The brother who took the bullet shouted at Chinziyu before the screen went dark. Chapter 23. Even though it was a game, there was still camaraderie. Looking at the player who died, Chinziyu mourned for half a second before he turned around and pounced on the other ghost soldiers. Such scenes could be seen everywhere on the battlefield. At this moment, Li Tianxia, who was fighting side by side with Wu Gori, was holding a ghost cavalryman tightly. Brother, I'm hugging him. Chop him, chop him. Wu Gori was stunned for a few seconds before he quickly killed the ghost rider. Wu Gori helped Li Tianxiao up and patted him on the shoulder. Brother, with your ferocious fighting spirit, you would definitely be a reckless soldier in ancient times. Li Tianxiao rolled his eyes. Brother Wu, don't mock me. Continue to kill. Don't let these bastards escape. Then, the two of them teamed up and charged towards the ghost cavalry again. The more the players fought, the more excited they became. More and more ghost soldiers fell on the ghost cavalry army side, and the resistance became more and more strenuous. The Ghost Supreme Commander roared angrily as he realized that there was no way to break out of the encirclement. He jumped down from his demonic colt and kept swinging the blade in his hand. The blade radiance was shooting everywhere, and a path was carved out by him. However, before he could move forward, the path was blocked by the players again. The Ghost Supreme Commander could not move an inch and could not break out of the encirclement at all. At this moment, a silhouette appeared from the side. With a flash of blue light, a blue heavy sword hit the back of the Ghost Supreme Commander. Huh. As the Ghost Supreme Commander turned around, the light around his body suddenly expanded outwards and bounced off the giant sword on his back. Turning around, the Ghost Supreme Commander's pupils shrank when he saw who it was. "It's you!" Wang Damong grinned. "That's right, it's me. How is this possible? You're already dead, and I was the one who did it." The Ghost Supreme Commander thought that these creatures had many similar faces, but when he saw Wang Damong, he realized that he was wrong. The Ghost Supreme Commander was terrified. He couldn't believe that such a strange scene would happen. Could it be that these creatures couldn't be killed at all and could even be resurrected? Seeing the shocked expression under the Ghost Supreme Commander's helmet, the onlookers started mocking him. 2333. Stupid Ghost Supreme Commander, tremble in fear under the gaze of the evil forces of the players. Facepalm, the Ghost Supreme Commander, seems to be in despair under the resurrection of the evil forces of the players. I'm dying of laughter. This NPC's expression is so cool. I've already taken a screenshot and am preparing to make it into a sticker pack. Bro above, remember to send me a copy after you're done. Facing the terrified Ghost Supreme Commander, Wang Damong held his dagger horizontally. Come on, I'm not afraid of death. At most, I'll still be a good man in 3 hours. If you're so awesome, why don't you resurrect yourself for me to see? Go to hell! The Ghost Supreme Commander's face turned gloomy as he was being mocked. He swung his sword towards Wang Damong. The Ghost Supreme Commander's furious attack was extremely powerful. It instantly killed Wang Damong and created a deep pit on the ground. Wang Damong's death did not affect the high spirits of the players at all. They once again surrounded the Ghost Supreme Commander in the middle and took turns to attack him like a suicide squad. This made the Ghost Supreme Commander feel the terror of the evil forces of the players. As time went by, the Ghost Supreme Commander started to pant, and the speed at which he swung his sword started to slow down. His will to fight was getting weaker and weaker. He felt helpless when he thought that these creatures who called themselves players could not be killed at all. Seeing that the Ghost Supreme Commander was about to die, the players became even crazier, and all of them rushed towards him. The first kill is mine, don't fight for it. Don't push me, let me slash at him for a while. It's good to share some of the experience. I feel that this boss is going to drop some high-level red equipment or even better equipment. Damn, whoever gets it will be rich. Get out of my way, let me do it. The players had a clear understanding of the value of soul coins. They knew how valuable a red-level equipment was. A lot of rich people would fight to buy it, and it would be easy for them to sell it for hundreds of thousands of yuan. Thinking about this, the players went completely crazy. They crowded around the Ghost Supreme Commander and wanted to loot his body after he died. After the Ghost Rider army was annihilated, the Ghost Supreme Commander had become a hot commodity. The Ghost Supreme Commander's resistance was getting weaker and weaker. The armor on his body started to crack after the continuous collisions. Ah, get out of my way. Before he ran out of energy, a green light burst out from the Ghost Supreme Commander's body again and sent the players around him flying. Good boy, how dare you resist? Explode. Struggle before death. Hurry up and explode. In less than a second, the players surrounded him again, and countless attacks were launched again. Under such continuous crazy attacks, the flame in the Ghost Supreme Commander's pupils started to shrink until it was extinguished. At the moment when the Ghost Supreme Commander died, dozens of players around him leveled up at the same time. At the same time, the Battle Artifacts ability was activated and it dissected the Ghost Supreme Commander's body, revealing 3 items on the ground. Ghost Supreme Dawn Blade Red. Ghost Supreme Commander level weapon attribute. Increased strength by 18 points weapon skill. Wind Blade can be used once per hour to deal double the damage from a long-distance skill. Requirement: Warrior Occupation, level 30 or above. Ghost Supreme Armor, red broken. Attribute: Increased defense by 15 points, broken effect is halved skill. Defense screen broken, Unable to be released. Requirements. Any class, level requirement. Level 25, Magic Rune number 1. One of. The accessories of the Dark Rune device set can be sold in the shop, worth 500 soul coins. The artifact quickly analyzed the attributes and value of these 3 items. Seeing these 3 items, the surrounding players' eyes were filled with excitement. In the bedroom, Bei Li, who was watching the battle with Lu Wu, suddenly stood up in surprise when she saw a blue rune fragment dropped by the Ghost Supreme Commander. "What's wrong?" Lu Wu asked. "Didn't you want to set up a few hidden occupations? I think this is our chance." Looking at the excited Bei Li, Lu Wu was confused. This Wraith Talisman was used by the top blacksmith of Beiki, Injoma, to create a special warrior. If we can get our hands on this, I'm confident that I can help you develop a rune warrior advancement plan. Is this thing really that powerful? Lu Wu was surprised. Of course, the setting of the rune warrior has always been in my mind. Unfortunately, I haven't had the time to study it. With this thing, I can guarantee that I can help you develop a warrior class advancement plan. Upon hearing this, Lu Wu's interest was piqued. "Tell me more about this plan." Bei Li nodded. The Rune Warrior is the name of a special warrior system created by the top blacksmith of Beiki Injuma. The forging process requires a lot of materials to be fused with the person being forged. The process is very complicated, but the strength of the finished product will be extremely terrifying. However, we don't have to go through so much trouble since we have the battle artifact. As long as I study this rune thoroughly and implant the template into the artifact, I can create a hidden occupation, Rune Warrior. Other than leveling up, the growth system of this occupation also includes the growth mode of collecting runes. The addition of each rune can greatly increase the strength of the Rune Warrior. Chapter 24. After killing the Ghost Supreme Commander and his army, the players were filled with joy. It was a sleepless night for many. However, when the players logged into the game the next day, they realized that there was an additional notification in the game. Berserker's first profession advancement, Rune Master. Many curious players clicked on the notification. Suddenly, the scene in front of them changed and appeared in an empty wilderness. In the middle of this empty space, there was a tall warrior with runes of different colors engraved on his body. Profession Introduction, Frowny Face Rune Master. In order to pursue the ultimate power, the Berserker abandons his weapon and uses his own body as a vessel to engrave runes of heaven and earth to forge the strongest body. Profession Specialty. Every time a new rune is engraved, the user's strength will be greatly increased, and the user will obtain the special skills of the engraved rune. Equipped Weapon. Bare hands, boxing gloves profession requirement. The starting profession must be a Berserker, and the level must be at least level 30. After the introduction disappeared, the Rune Master in the empty space moved his body. The runes on his body began to shine, and a buzzing sound was heard like an engine. Power Rune. Accompanied by the Runic Master's shout, the ruby on his body suddenly flashed, and his arms also started to expand gradually. Green veins popped up, and he punched the ground fiercely, causing smoke and dust to billow. A huge pit appeared on the ground, and cracks started to spread in all directions. Defense Rune. As he shouted again, the blue gem shone brilliantly while the Rune Master crossed his arms in front of his chest and bent his body slightly. Suddenly, a blue circular light screen appeared. At the same time, a figure holding a magic staff appeared in front of the Rune Master. Death's Descent. As the figure of the mage shouted angrily, a meteor shower formed by energy fell from the sky. However, when these attacks hit the blue light screen, other than some ripples, they could not break through its defense at all. Speed Rune. After the attack ended, the green gem lit up and a green gas engulfed the Rune Master. His figure flashed and instantly disappeared from the spot, continuously flashing in all directions. After the demonstration, the game introduction appeared again. The Rune Master profession has many growth modes. The number of inlaid runes can be increased as the level increases. In this update, the Berserker Profession Advancement, Rune Master, new NPC, Profession Advancement Mentor. Rune Master Profession Advancement can only be successful after completing the Profession Advancement quest. Class Change Mission Introduction. You can learn more about the details from Class Change Instructor Chusher. As soon as the content of this update was released, it caused a sensation in the forum of Battle Online. Peppa Boar, so powerful, so strong. Looking for materials for class advancement. Wu Yu Ji, fuck. Why weren't there any other professions? Could the Berserker be the game's biological son? Was it too late to change classes? Button hurts. I strongly condemn it. Why didn't I advance to Great Assassin? I'm already in a state of jealousy. Pay-to-win player. Sad. Is there no future for me, a sewer mage? Crayon_Shinchan replied to a pay-to-win player. Fellow sorcerer, let's cry together. Thunder replied to Crayon_Shinchan, count me in. Let's cry together and give R&D the middle finger. Strike gold. Luckily, I chose the Berserker. I'm laughing at your jealous faces. While the players were discussing, a question post appeared on the forum. There was also a picture of the details of the Rune Master's Job Advancement Mission. Requirements for Rune Master Class Advancement. Stage 1. Kill a specific monster. Stage 2. Collect materials to create runes. 1 must be completed. Strength Rune Fusion Materials. Black Scorched or produced in Langius Scorched Earth Mining Area. Molten Core, produced in Fiery Hell. Black Armor Fragment X10. Dropped after killing a black-armored evil spirit. Defense Rune Fusion Materials, Black Scorched or Corpse Water Core. Produced in Corpse Water River Area, Netherworld Pearl X10 dropped. After death of a Netherworld force, Speed Rune Fusion, Destruction Rune Fusion, Flight Rune Fusion, Explosion Rune Fusion, Chio-Nyo Strongman Special Rune Fusion, Xingtian Strongman Special Rune Fusion, Stage 3. Class Advancement successful. Class Advancement Mode activated. Beast Fighter. Who can tell me what the hell are these materials for class advancement? Other than the Netherworld Pearl, I don't know a single one of them. I don't even know where these places are. Replies, Wu Yu Ji. 666, the harder the better. It would be best if I could find you berserkers to become autistic. Pay-to-win player. I agree with the commenter above, but I feel that the growth of this class is really strong. There are all kinds of enhancements. No, I'm already in a state of jealousy. I curse that you guys can't find it. Peppa Boar, I'm dumbfounded. The Rune Masters are really strong, but the difficulty of class advancement is definitely beyond your imagination. Based on what we know about the Netherworld Force, there are only a few who can fight it alone, not to mention the other monsters that sound strong. Strike gold. I think I'd better find a way to collect the simplest strength, defense, and speed. I feel that it's impossible to obtain those few special runes by myself. Yi Schwerer is the cutest. I strongly protest. Why don't I, the Great Assassin, have such a powerful class advancement? I request for a Rune Assassin. Yi Schwerer's sidekick replied to Yi Schwerer is the cutest. Everything Schwa or says is right. Crayon Shinchan replied to Yi Schwerer's sidekick, Bootlicker, bootlicker, in the end, you'll get nothing. Lu Wu smiled and rubbed Bei Li's little head as he read the players' discussions. You're really something. You actually developed a new class with just a rune. Bei Li pushed Lu Wu's hand away with her little head, her face full of pride. That's right. I'm now researching the mage class advancement. When the time comes, I'll introduce 3 mage class advancement paths for the players to choose from. Which 3? Lu Wu asked curiously. The curse path that's good at controlling and reducing debuffs, the demon path that's good at dealing damage, and the spiritual monster path that's good at shapeshifting. Each of them has their own unique characteristics and are very powerful. Awesome! Lu Wu gave a thumbs up. What about the assassin? What about the assassin class advancement? I'm still thinking about the assassin class. The classes that I created require special materials from the underworld to be added to the players. It's equivalent to creating a new body template for them. I can't just add whatever I think of. Therefore, I have to think about every class advancement carefully and study it repeatedly. Is there anything I can help with? Lu Wu felt a little guilty as he watched Bei Li immerse herself in her research every day. You just buy me a lot of delicious food every day. After all, research is very mentally taxing. I need all kinds of delicious food to supplement my nutrition. As for research, I don't need your help. After all, research requires a lot of talent and intelligence. You definitely won't be able to help. Bei Li's serious words made Lu Wu's pride ache. Chapter 25. Lioli district was close to the coast of the underworld sea. There was a throne made from the bones of all kinds of creatures, and a huge body was sitting on it. In front of him, countless creatures were kowtowing in worship. What's the reply from the underworld sea? A deep voice came from the gigantic body, causing the creatures below to tremble. Lord Cha-Na, the Sea King, said that as long as you are willing to offer 100,000 Yin souls as sacrifices every year, the underworld sea will recognize you as the overlord of Lioli district. Boom! Intense flames burst forth from the throne, and the pair of burning eyes were filled with endless anger. How dare he be so arrogant when the king of Beiki was still around? Does he think that I, Cha-Na, am a pushover? The soul-liberating envoy, who was wearing a black robe, trembled. Then what does Lord Cha-Na mean? Cha-Na was silent for a while, then slowly said, "Bear with it for now and agree to his request. When I break through to the Ghost King realm, I will get my revenge." The soul-liberating envoy nodded, as if he had thought of something. Lord Cha-Na, Gui-san's soul fire has been extinguished. Gui-san? Isn't he guarding the border between Lioli district and the Mansion of the Dead? How did he die in such a safe area? The soul-liberating envoy shook his head. Not only is he dead, but it seems like all his subordinates are dead too. None of them came back to report. Is it the Rock Ghost King of the North? Cha-Na shook his head. It can't be him. He wouldn't be so stupid as to make an enemy out of me right after conquering the North. It must be some other force. Go and investigate personally. I want to know who is targeting me. The soul-liberating envoy bowed respectfully at Cha-Na. Then his figure melted into the shadows and disappeared quickly. As the forum of Battle Online was often full these days, Lu Wu and Wu Gui decided to create a new official homepage for Battle Online after some discussion. They completely revamped their small gaming website. At the same time, there were a few more functions that were about to be added on the webpage, one of which was live streaming. At the same time, the video of the battle between the players and the Ghost Supreme Commander was also uploaded to major video portals, such as Bilibili. The number of players of Battle Online increased by leaps and bounds again, reaching 200,000. Even if Lu Wu did nothing for the past few days, the number of soul coins was still increasing. Apart from the expenses for various quests, Lu Wu's soul coins had finally exceeded 50,000. The construction of the Mansion of the Dead that he had planned for a long time had officially begun. Under Bei Li's control, a large amount of soul energy gushed out from the artifact and turned into a sea of soul energy that enveloped the abandoned Mansion of the Dead. With the help of the artifact, the buildings in the Mansion of the Dead began to be repaired, and a wonderful half-real scenery appeared, attracting a large number of players to stop and watch. Unlike the Yin Qi, the restoration of the Soul Qi took more than 10 minutes before it completely took shape. When a towering, black building appeared above the ruins, the spectating players were in an uproar. Server announcement. Class skill learning is officially open. Players who have reached level 20 can choose the combat skills corresponding to their class in the Cultivation Pavilion to learn. After this announcement appeared, a large number of players leveling out in the fields began rushing towards Underworld's area. They all wanted to see just what kind of place the cultivation pavilion was. Meanwhile, Lu Wu and Bei Li had already entered the attic hand in hand. The cultivation pavilion was called the Library Pavilion when the king of Beiki was still around. It housed all the cultivation techniques and combat skills collected by the king of Beiki. When the Library Pavilion was renamed, the artifact had stored and organized all the ancient books inside. Under Bei Li's renovation, it had turned into a place with a classical charm and a fantastic color. All the books inside had been changed into silhouettes. Players could click on the silhouettes to see the detailed explanation and demonstration of the skills. Of course, soul coins were also required to learn skills here. Moreover, the skills could not be learned just by having soul coins. There was also a level restriction. This was mainly because although some players' bodies had been upgraded and strengthened by soul points, they still could not withstand some of the overbearing techniques. Hence, Lu Wu added many learning restrictions here. At the same time, in order to better differentiate them, Lu Wu asked Bei Li to remodel the cultivation pavilion for the second time. It was divided into 5 areas, namely the beginner cultivation area, intermediate cultivation area, advanced cultivation area, spiritual cultivation area, and king cultivation area. Due to the large number of players, the setting of the cultivation pavilion was equivalent to countless parallel spaces. Each space could only have a maximum of 1,000 players. In other words, the cultivation pavilion existed in the battle artifact. At the same time, it had opened up countless spaces in order to prevent the situation of being crowded and unable to enter. The two of them walked around the cultivation pavilion. After confirming that there were no mistakes, they returned to the world of the living together. At the same time, a large number of players swarmed into the cultivation pavilion and began to check out the techniques. Warrior class skill area, mage class skill area, and assassin class skill area. The 3 main skill areas were crowded with players. Many players had been complaining about the lack of skills for a long time, especially the mage class. Even if they had reached level 20, they still only had the Yin energy bomb skill. This made many players feel that the mage class was born from a stepmother and was not valued at all. However, this time, the emergence of a few powerful beginner skills had ushered in a spring for the mage class. Summoning Yin soldiers mage. Skill description: manipulate Yin energy to gather Yin soldiers to serve you. Each Yin soldier strength is equivalent to a level 1 player's strength. There can be up to 10 Yin soldiers at the same time. Skill requirement: to learn this skill, you need to consume 10 soul coins and have to reach level 20. Skill upgrade: summoning Yin soldiers level 2, available at level 25. Summoning Yin soldiers level 3, available at level 30. Note: for every level up, the number of Yin soldiers summoned is x2 Yin corrosion mage. Evil spirit type skill: release corrosive Yin energy fog with negative statuses. It can cause large-scale continuous damage. Skill requirement: to learn this skill, you need to consume 10 soul coins and have to reach level 20. Skill upgrade: Yin corrosion level 2, available at level 25. Yin corrosion level 3, available at level 30. Note: for every level up, the area of damage and the strength of the damage will be increased. Evil spirit entanglement mage. Evil spirit type skill: summon wandering evil spirits to possess the body. The body will be protected by evil spirits. Skill requirement: to learn this skill, you need to consume 40 soul coins and have to reach level 30. Skill upgrade: vicious spirit possession level 40. 100 Ghosts Night Walk level 80. Note: this skill has uncertainty. The strength of the evil spirits summoned is affected by environmental factors. The higher the level, the stronger the evil spirits summoned. Seeing a bunch of mage class skills, the mage players who had always regarded themselves as a sewer burst into tears. They knew that spring had really come. Chapter 26. After the battle with the Ghost Supreme Commander, the players realized the difference between their own forces and the Ghost General Chana's. Therefore, the players started a frenzy of leveling up. At the same time, many berserkers started to walk out of the mansion of the dead due to their desire to become a rune master. They went to the outside world to look for materials to change their class. To make it easier for the players to waste a lot of time on the road, Lu Wu used 5,000 soul points to create 2 teleportation circles. He placed them at the entrance of the Ghost Mountains and outside the Mansion of the Dead. At the same time, he made an announcement that all the players could build teleportation circles in the areas that they had explored 100% of the time. This was undoubtedly good news for the players. After all, every time they resurrected, they would have to go to the Ghost Mountains to level up. They would have to spend a lot of time on the road. Of course, the teleportation circles that Lu Wu built were not free. They would have to pay 1 soul coin as a teleportation fee. What Lu Wu did not expect was that he would earn back half of the cost on the first day after the teleportation circles were built. While the players were busy leveling up, a new column was launched on the official website of Battle Online. It was the live streaming function that many players had been waiting for. This allowed the players who died in the game and entered the cooldown period to watch the live streaming. At the same time, in order to obtain more soul coins from the players, Lu Wu imitated other live streaming platforms and set up a reward function. This reward function did not use cash, but soul coins in the game. Lu Wu set up a total of 6 types of gifts. They were Heart 0, 1 soul coin, Cake 1 soul coin, Ring 5 soul coins, Flying Saucer 20 soul coins, Yacht 100 soul coins, Lucky Crystal 1,000 soul coins. Of course, the money from the rewards did not go to the streamers' pockets. Lu Wu would take 50% of the service fee from the rewards. In other words, these streamers were actually working for Lu Wu in disguise. However, on the first day this function was launched, there were more than 1,000 streamer registration applications. After the review was completed, all kinds of streamers went online one after another. There were also many live streaming columns on the webpage. Some of the weird streamers even quickly attracted a wave of fans. For example, Sadface, a cute girl who has no money to spend, so she live streams to earn soul coins to support herself. Number of viewers, 390, a solo leveling strategy in the Ghost Mountains. Teaches you how to make all kinds of traps and challenge wild monsters. Number of viewers, 1,200, how to build your own house in the game, and how to use outdoor materials to build a house, 876 viewers. Lord Dutt is trying to survive in the wild. In the process of reclaiming a new area, he swears not to go home until he finds all the materials for a rune master. Live broadcast of taming zombie wolves in Lioli District, 8th attempt. Current number of viewers, 3294, teaching Berserker close combat techniques from a Special Forces soldier in real life. Current viewer, 2341, the mage's spring has arrived. PK in the wild. I've already killed 5 Berserkers today. How satisfying. Number of viewers, 976. Assassin's Creed, the wandering Grim Reaper in Lioli District is looking for lone ghost soldiers. Number of viewers, 2111. The appearance of a large number of streamers had enriched the gameplay of Battle Online. In the underground R&D room of the Black Sea Technology Company in the capital of Chi Dragon, the lights of the virtual gaming pods were flashing as they carried out the final test. The senior staff of Black Sea Technology were watching the experiment nervously because they knew that if the test was successful, they would have the first opportunity to seize the market share. In the research and development of virtual gaming pods, time was the most precious thing. If they were slower than others, they would be limited in every aspect. Beep! As the green indicator lights lit up on all the virtual gaming pods, the senior staff of Black Sea Technology were all excited. Congratulations, the research and development is successful. This batch of virtual gaming pods, together with the nutrient solution, has successfully allowed players to stay in it for 24 hours without being affected in any way. The white-haired old man in the research and development team said joyfully. As soon as he finished speaking, there was an uproar in the research and development room. Everyone began to applaud. After confirming that everything was correct, the senior staff who were immersed in joy called for an emergency meeting. Since we're going to enter the market, it's important to quickly occupy the entire market. What do you all think? The CEO's words caused the people below to fall into silence. Then they began to express their own opinions. However, most of them were selling at reduced prices, opening up the market and looking for agents. At this time, a young-looking man sitting at the end of the row stood up. Since our product's main purpose is to serve the game, why don't we cooperate with game merchants and use their reputation to open up the market? It's the best. Hearing this, everyone in the room nodded subconsciously. In order to quickly occupy the market, we'll implement the plans you mentioned at the same time. At the same time, Shaoli, you'll be in charge of coordinating with the game manufacturers. Don't let me down. Just as the board of directors made their decision, the secretary ran into the room in a panic. President Chen, the Jetta Corporation from country, had just announced at the press conference that they've developed virtual gaming pods. Hearing this news, everyone in the room was shocked. Then, the secretary picked up the tablet and connected it to the projection in the conference room. Soon, the scene of the press conference appeared. After many years of research, the virtual world will usher in a new era from today onwards. This is because the virtual gaming pods that everyone has been waiting for have been developed successfully. After countless data tests, I can guarantee that the gaming pods are stable. Seeing this news, everyone in the room felt as if a bucket of cold water had been poured over them. The joy from before vanished without a trace. There was no greater joy or sorrow than this. After a moment of silence, the president of the Black Sea Corporation immediately announced that a press conference would be held. At the same time, all the planned marketing plans would be carried out quickly. They had to take over the domestic market in the shortest time possible. They could not let the Jetta Corporation from country A take the lead. At the same time, they had to think of ways to open up new markets overseas. The entire company was suddenly in a state of panic. While the Jetta Corporation was releasing the press conference, Lu Wu and Bei Li were sitting on the bed, eating snacks and watching TV. Virtual gaming pods? A 24-hour experience? Seeing this news, Lu Wu's body trembled. One had to know that the biggest limitation to the players was their strength. For the players' safety, he had set a 12-hour gaming time limit. However, seeing this advertisement, Lu Wu felt that it was an opportunity for the underworld players to develop faster. At this moment, Lu Wu's phone suddenly rang. Picking up the phone, Wu Gui's voice came from the phone. "Brother Lu, quick, look at the news. The Jetta Corporation has released virtual gaming pods. A 24-hour experience. I just happened to see it. Brother Wu, why are you so excited?" Wu Gui took a deep breath. "Just now, the operations department of the Jetta Corporation contacted me, hoping that I can promote and collaborate with them. I immediately thought of your game. This is a win-win situation. Your game can enter the overseas market through the Jetta Corporation, and the Jetta Corporation can also enter the domestic market through our game. Their representative will come to the headquarters of 173 tomorrow to discuss with me. I have invited 30 major game manufacturers, including you. You must come on time tomorrow morning.